Yeah, and Peter Criss with makeup. I look like my mother going out there for Halloween. Hey, Ma, dress up.
All right, let's get this thing rolling. Everybody, welcome back to the Say What You Will podcast. Thanks for sharing and liking and promoting, helping us promote this thing. Let's get it out, even larger audience. And I almost said 1984, but those are the albums we're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2024. For those who don't know, going back 40 years and reviewing the albums that were released that month. So we are in January of Take You Back to 1984. What's up, Dennis?
Not much, Derek. Thank you.
Mark?
Hello.
Dennis, what's the
Doing
M
good.
on your hat?
What's that?
What's the M on
Memorial High
High
School.
Oh.
I
My
coached
alumni.
I coached over there baseball for
What's your hat?
a year.
Oh, Ed Forever.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Love it.
Right there.
In the background, we've got Us Festival playing.
And we have no rain tonight.
Yeah.
It's coming tomorrow.
It's coming tomorrow. Get this in beforehand.
Yep.
Cool. So, we are a new year, and we'll be going through each month and reviewing those albums that came out that month. We have January's a pretty decent month. Looked ahead, some other good months.
Yeah.
So
What
super
a
excited
year.
about that.
You know what's really cool, Derek, too, Mark, is that, after a week with work and Zoom meetings, I don't know if people realize we're doing this in person
Yep.
around the table.
Yeah.
Some beers going and just like the old-fashioned way, right? That's a
got a
bottle
bottle
of
of-
something
A
there.
bottle of whiskey, too.
Whiskey
Chilled,
Smith.
too. I like that.
Yeah,
You
chilled.
Put some special
Neat.
Yeah.
You're drinking it neat.
Neat.
drinking in neat. So,
Speaking of that.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of podcasts out there you see. Everyone's on a Zoom screen
Yep.
in their own house. You get talking over each other, although we may do that at times. But you don't get that reaction of seeing their face 2 feet from each other, which we
Yeah.
have.
and I
Kind of cool.
And I think it's about, there's a lot. I think actually Les mentioned this too. One of our friends, the chemistry, that we've created. And I think that chemistry is really comes into play when you're in person.
Well, I think we
Yeah.
got three
Yeah.
different personalities.
Yeah.
The way we approach.
Although
What?
our last year in review, we were pretty close on the top 5.
Well,
Yeah, for sure. The only criticism
Other than
was
me. Yeah.
the
You guys
only,
are closer than I
well,
was.
and the fact that I sounded like I was doing the podcast
Oh,
in the garbage
God.
can,
You know,
Driveway.
like I was outside speaking through a window.
I need to apologize to
No,
that.
there's no apology.
I felt bad.
That was a great podcast, and I tell you, anyone listening to this now, if you haven't heard that, you got to go back and listen to it because, it's every podcast I walk away learning something new, which is really cool. And we've all lived these albums and
Right.
the tours and everything, yet engaging and talking about the experiences and our opinions, walk away and you go, wow, I can't tell you how many times I bought one of these albums over the last year on iTunes.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of what we talked about. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
YNT
it's
was
reliving
one-
them, too. It's going back to an album you probably haven't thrown on in
Yeah.
40 years.
Right.
And having maybe a different perspective or opinion on what you thought of it 40 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. You may have loved it back then.
And now you
you're
listen
like,
back and go,
I was just totally like the last time, like with the YNT, I didn't realize how great that album
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And I actually bought it. I bought it on iTunes. I was like, I got it on a CD somewhere, and there's a cassette in the shed and whatever. But I'm like, man, I need quick access to this, because when we talked about it, we broke it down, and we really talked about Manichetti and the guitar playing and the song structures. And I'm just hoping that the people that listen to this podcast have the same experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there's a difference between throwing an album on, like I threw that album on, the Y&T album back then, and just listen to it. And you're not critiquing it like we do now. Now, when I listen to it again for the podcast, I'm listening to it, more than just, it's not background music or just, I'm not outside throwing a Frisbee with the tunes are cranking. You're actually paying attention to what's going on in the songs. And you find things you never noticed back when you were listening to it back then. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting is, he probably comes up in our podcast every time, is Greg Renoff.
Yep.
Pushed something out or whatever, and I said, I miss the days of actually sitting with music and just listening to it, like in your room, right? You're just laying on your bed and you got physical graffiti on, and you're just listening to it. You're not doing the dishes. You're not
distracted.
mowing the lawn. You're not doing. You're just in the music, and this has kind of been able to bring us back to do that.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Well, I think the difference is now music is like a background to whatever you're doing. Like you said, you're mowing the lawn, the music's on. Where back then, that was what you were doing. I'm listening to music in my bedroom. There was nothing else.
That was the activity.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
so,
I mean, Christine, is that Christine?
Oh, that was
your daughter.
I think that was Addie. I don't know. They're
I forget what I was
doppelgangers.
going to say. But no, I totally, I feel the same way, but I like being in the room. So, but one of the things we do want to do this year is do some live shows where we can get people to be able to call in. We experimented with that on the December year in review, but I'm going to figure that out, and then have some guests. If anyone wants to be a guest, we could have them call in and do that type of thing.
Well, I think the call-ins in the live is cool because there's a lot of folks out there that have lived this music, and their experience is important.
Yeah. I like to hear other people's opinions on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's three. You know what I mean?
I liked when you heard, was it Pete? Who called in?
Paul.
Paul.
Yeah.
And when he's talking about mental health. And
you're slamming the guy. I'm leaving him alone. He's a gold card member. You're killing him.
Well, I think the other thing we want to do, too, is we want to do some more live appearance podcasts.
Yeah, I would like to do that again and see if you guys can drink more than you did last time.
You might have to reel that in a little.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy crap!
All right, well we got one news segment tonight, but we'll jump right into the news. With Dennis, what do you got? Anything?
Okay, so just not really. Well, kind of newsy, but just a vent a little bit. So my wife went Monday night to Boston.
Madonna.
With two of her friends.
But wait.
She's still alive.
Mark just looked at me with such disdain, and you're like, how the hell Madonna?
You nailed it, right? So
I'll tell you why after this.
Oh, well, so they stay overnight, Boston or whatever, and which is a good move.
Was it at the Garden?
Yeah. And I told her, I said, Madonna is notorious for pulling like Axl Rose,
The
right?
late night.
She don't give a shit, right? Freaking
They
get in there at 8.
Room, who cares?
They get but it's like you get in there at 8:00. They get in, and there's no opening band. There's a DJ on the stage just ripping through EDM, and all of a sudden they get an announcement that there's a technical difficulty, which is a load of bullshit, right? She's not going on till like 11:15.
Get out.
Yeah, that's a Guns N' Roses thing.
What time do they have to get out of there, though?
Well, the problem that they had in Boston was the tease. people are taking the tea
They shut 'em
in.
down.
So yeah, I think it's 12:30 is the last the green line or whatever that you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got fucked. Like they weren't, they had trouble.
Yeah.
She's like, fucking 65 years old. Just a sense of entitlement.
Oh, I thought you were
I'm
saying
sorry,
your wife
that's
was
just the way.
60.
No, she's not. But the thing is just like people were bullshit. Because the people in the audience are not, they're not like, it's like Madonna, your audience is 50-year-olds, soccer moms.
They wanna get
You're
home.
not 20-year-old college students.
Yeah.
They're gonna wake up and go to school late, blow off class in the morning.
That's power trip.
Yeah, it's
you
just
know.
like, what
I
the
have
fuck,
control of this
asshole.
situation, and I'm going to take advantage of it. Bullshit.
You're singing 1990s songs.
Yeah.
You know,
The
it's
songs are like obsolete. I mean, they're from freaking 40 years ago.
Did she sing just like an hour?
I think she went an hour and a half.
Oh my
It
god!
was like, yeah.
Where normally it would be 3.
Oh God, yeah. And the thing is that the tickets weren't cheap.
No,
You know what I mean?
this was a makeup show, right?
That's right. That's the other thing.
See how much I know.
You had to
Mark?
wear makeup to get in? Like Kiss?
Well,
Yeah.
no, it was like
was
4 months
canceled.
ago, right? So
I
hey,
know all this.
reschedule.
Yeah, you know an awful lot about this concert, Derek.
Here's a rescheduled
Were you
date.
there?
No, but I would have
Rescheduled.
went, and I'll tell you why after.
Well, rescheduled date Monday in January. Have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Fucking
time.
10 degrees out. It's just fuck you, Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that doesn't work nowadays in this
No.
in this society that we're dealing with
Yeah.
right now. We living in.
Yeah.
People don't put up with that shit.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just like, and I'm like, I told you, Wendy. You just look at the history, and they're gonna do that. It's like Guns N' Roses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they used to pull that shit all
Yeah,
the time.
all the time.
And their excuse was, well, when we played the clubs in L.A., we didn't go on till 10:30 at 11
Well,
at
now
night.
you're
It's
in the
like,
big
well,
league.
you know what? Now you're a signed artist
Yeah.
playing in arenas, and it's not the same format.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just get that off. I mean, I don't know. I had the whole bed to myself, and I slept great.
Well, there you go. The silver lining, right?
Yeah. So it was a good night. Cheers.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Well, I'll just share briefly. So I'm on a text string with a couple of guys, and they can't figure out why I despise Pink Floyd. I just don't like them. It's never been a thing.
I'm not a big fan either.
No. And so once in a while they'll bring it up, and they're just like in shock that I don't like them. And so the other day it came up again, and then 2 threads later was my wife's going to Madonna tonight, and I said, I'd rather go see Madonna than Pink Floyd. And the guy's like, I'm leaving this chat. He's like, I'm done with you, Derek. I can't believe it. But my thing is, they're just not rocking enough.
No, I'm not
There's no
into
rock.
them.
Yeah.
I'm not into the other band I don't like is Queen.
I thought you were
like
going to say Grateful Dead.
Yeah, Grateful Dead is my other one I don't
Yeah.
like.
I don't know. Queen is another band I just can't listen to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not good,
Yeah.
and I appreciate their contribution to, this, music.
Yep.
It's just I
No.
would never listen to them.
Not a big Queen fan.
No.
The opera, like the anthems and all that.
Nah, it's almost like opera rock,
Yeah.
and it's just not my
Nope.
my thing.
Some of the deeper cuts are more rock.
Yeah,
Just
they got a
straight
few
ahead
in
rock.
there that are a little,
Yeah.
like Tie Your Mother Down, or it was pretty good,
Right.
But a lot of this stuff is like opera rock. Like
yeah.
you could see it, like a Broadway show musical kind of soundtrack.
Right.
What,
So,
you got any news?
You got any
We'll
other
come back.
Anything
well,
else?
no. I'm fuck Madonna.
go back and
Okay, over to you.
I got a bunch of news today. Well, first, I want to talk about James Kotak.
Yeah.
Passed away.
Right.
Yep. Was it a year ago we saw him and talked to him? Where was that?
He doesn't look anything like he looked.
No.
I was looking at some recent photos.
So this is the drummer for Kingdom Come.
Yeah, which is a huge influence on my drumming.
Scorpions.
Then Scorpions, right?
That drumming on that first Kingdom Come album is
Monstrous.
epic.
Yeah. It's a beast.
Epic. And you know, James Kotak gets a lot of credit, but Bob Rock gets just as much for making those drums as explosive as they were.
Yep.
I mean, those drums sounded like, when he hit that snare, it was like a explosion.
Yeah.
And it worked, and it fit that genre of music they were playing. And
What did he die from?
Alcoholism.
I think he had a heart attack or something, because he said he was on 48 days sober. He was in rehab, so I think something else went on.
What did he do before Kingdom Come? What was he doing?
Unknown.
Really?
That was his first gig. First gig.
Was he playing like in clubs in L.A.?
Oh, he was from Louisiana. I don't know how he hooked up with Lenny Wolf. I don't know. He must have knew one of the guys. Stag, or who's the other rhythm player in there.
So how can people, like, we pay tribute to, like Kotak, is to go and listen to that first Kingdom Come album.
You put that album on.
Go pop that, find it on YouTube,
you wanna
or
talk
even
about
buy
it.
it.
There ain't a dud on that album.
And listen for the drums.
Pushing hard. It was cannons. It was so influential to me back when that come out. He was right in my wheelhouse of the kind of drummer I wanted to be. And, sad day. 60 years old.
Couple kids, I think grandkid.
Had kids. And he was married to Tommy's sister.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
Did they have
anymore.
kids?
Huh?
Is that who he had kids with,
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was Tommy's sister.
Yeah, there's some awesome tributes out there, too.
Yeah. And he was the longest standing Scorpions drummer.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in there longer
than Rarebo.
Rarebo.
Wow.
Yep.
So, who's he's escaping my memory. Who's the guitar player of Great White?
Mark
Kendall.
Kendall. So Kendall's like, I don't know how many years sober, like totally.
Yeah.
Was it him that said he tried to help him out?
He tried to help him out a couple times, couldn't get through, and he said some nice things about it.
Yeah. Yeah, big loss.
Yeah.
The rock community. I mean, he was one of my influences. I got a handful of them, and he was one of them. So that's a big
right
loss.
up there with Bunny Carlo.
Yeah, Bunny Carlo. He was a great drummer, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm cut from that. John Bonham,
Yeah.
Alex Van Halen, Tommy Aldridge, James Kotak. Those guys.
Right.
And he was just one of those guys. So, this one for Dennis.
Well, wait. Let me actually say something.
Oh, go ahead.
To piggyback on Bob Rock.
Yep.
There's on YouTube. I don't know how long it's out. Go check it out. There's a documentary called Little Mountain Studio, and it's about the studio
In Vancouver. Yeah.
And where they did all the big recordings.
Did Dr. Feelgood
Yep.
record it up there?
Yep.
And a Black Album.
Yep. They talk about it. They talk about Dr. Feelgood doing it with it. Aerosmith was in one studio. They were in the other. And it's talk about the rise of it and the fall of it. And it's really good. It's only about 45 minutes, but go check it out.
Oh, on that note,
Noted.
Going back to Kotak, when Motley Crue went in the studio with Bob Rock to record Dr. Feelgood, Tommy said, "I want that drum sound from Kingdom Come."
What's so funny about that? Then Metallica went to do the Black Album and said, "I want Motley Crue's sound."
Yeah, which is all Bob Rock.
Yeah.
Right? But I got to tell you right now, you guys could disagree. I think he got the best drum sound on the Kingdom Come album out of all three of those.
Yeah.
As far as power, just the power of those drums.
Well, it's got to be how he's hitting them, right?
Well, it's a drummer, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you're talking Tommy Lee. I mean...
Yeah. But they may strike...
But I would say, as far as drum mixes on those three albums with Bob Rock, I would go Kingdom Come, Metallica, Motley. I don't think Motley... I mean, the Black Album drums are amazing. And I think Dr. Feelgood would probably be third as far as the drum mix on them.
It feels like, to me, that the Metallica one is big, but you can tell it's heavy produced. Where Metallica,
Oh, it's produced, yeah.
Metallica is big. Excuse me. Where Kingdom Come is big drum sound, but it feels more raw.
Natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he just nailed it on that album with that band.
Yep.
I don't know if those songs are even as good as
I wonder if that
they
was
are
done
without
up there.
those drums. Because you couldn't reproduce it live. And we went and saw him
Yeah.
at the Tupelo, and it's like, ooh, man, when you kick into pushing hard, man, without that.
Well, I saw the Monsters of Rock up in Maine, and when they were doing sound check and he was hitting his kick, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, see, he
Billy
needs an
and I were like,
arena.
"Holy
You almost
fuck."
need an arena for
But
that.
that was outside. That was a raceway.
Yeah, but it was still in a huge stage or a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
PA.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
You're
yeah.
playing in a small little
Oh, in
club.
the club. Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to get that massive drum sound. You
Yep,
know?
I agree. Yep. Sorry, Dennis, you were going back to you.
No, I was. I'm just another complaint.
Oh,
I'm on my period this week.
yes. Oh,
Ace Frehley, man, shut up.
I
He's
know.
been getting the mic because he's doing advertising promo for the new album
But he's
that
sticking
he's
his
got
foot in
released.
his mouth.
Well, he's bitching about Kiss and Paul and Gene, and I started like looking.
that creates headlines for him.
Well, yeah, and I started looking into it, and then when you read about I read an interview with Paul, and they went through a lot of shit with Ace. Ace was a
he was an alcoholic.
bad man.
And Peter Criss.
He was like a fuck up back in those days, to the point where I think the band put up with a lot of his shit, even in the old days in the 70s when they were releasing good music and stuff like that. But he was just like a big pain in the ass. And I think that band never got over. I mean, Gene and Paul were like, fuck him.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says he's great and he's capable of, performing and doing all this. But no, he's not. Tommy
didn't
Thayer
they,
can still play the music, whatever he looks like, wearing the makeup or whatever. He's in better shape than Ace. I mean,
absolutely.
So
Well, he's got 10 years on him.
yeah, right. But I mean, I think there was that thing where people, like, I know Eddie and stuff's a big fan. Trunk is like, Ace should be there, should be part.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe they're tired of his bullshit, and they don't want to do that anymore. Deal with him.
Yeah.
Well, they brought him back with Peter Criss in '96, right, for the first big reunion.
I think
Yeah.
so, yep.
And they both fucked it up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a chance to get back with Kiss, do this tour, and from what I've read or heard from Paul Stanley, they fucked it up again. They were drunk again, and they just screwed it up.
Well, who's
Kind
the
of-
Who's the drummer in Kiss right now?
Eric Singer.
Is he better than Peter Criss?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's from
There.
Badlands.
Okay. Case closed.
Case closed there.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no doubt.
Case
So-
closed. Who are you, Bobo?
Well, you're not going to make that. Like, if you're the guy running that band, you're going with that guy, not Peter Criss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a weaker drummer with problems.
Yeah, and Peter Criss with makeup. I look like my mother going out there for Halloween. Hey, Ma, dress
Yeah,
up.
and then you got Tommy Thayer, who's got 20 years. Well, I'd say 20 years younger than Ace. He's probably 10, 12 years.
Yeah, but
younger.
whatever, right?
From Black and Blue. Remember that band?
Yep.
Black and Blue.
They wrote some good
Yeah,
songs.
you get to a point where it's not worth the headache to drag these guys around the country with you, or around the world, wherever you're going, and dealing with the bullshit. And now at this
And the
point, like
history.
Derek, you alluded to, it's becoming a point where anybody can wear the makeup and go out
Yeah.
and be Kiss, right?
Right.
So who cares, basically? I mean, do you even need Gene, Paul, and the rest of them now? Get some 4 young guys out there that play it.
Well, you brought up last time about Ace Frehley. You were like, he's not a guitar god, right? Remember you talked
No.
about that? Now, like that's your opinion, right?
That's
there are
my
people
opinion.
out there that might think that Ace was very innovative. I don't agree with that. I don't think Ace was a great
Randy
guitar
Rhoads
player.
a guitar god. Eddie
So
Van
then why
Halen's
do
a
you need
guitar
Ace
god.
in the band? You know what I mean? Like 70-something years old. You know, I mean, Ace Frehley played what? He played some club in Massachusetts. I mean that. So where's? I mean, if that guy was that great, he wouldn't be playing a club in Massachusetts.
Right.
You know, I just get. He's getting a lot of publicity right now, and I know he's on
It's
Eddie
pissing you
Trunk.
off.
Well, he's on Eddie Trunk, and the guy's a great interview. Ace, he's funny. Have you heard his interview with Eddie? Oh, he's great. He's hilarious. He's and all that. But then when he starts getting into the negativity, and it's like, Ace, it's over, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's over. You're a solo artist.
Yeah, he's a solo artist who doesn't have the chops, like we say, to do solo. I mean, you want to do solo artists and just write songs and play, or are you trying to do a solo artist like Joe Bonamassa does?
Yeah, no.
I mean, he doesn't have
right,
the credibility for that,
right,
you know?
Yep.
right. I feel a lot better.
Feel better now?
Yeah.
All right. Jesus. Go have a drink.
So I got a couple here that Dennis might chime in on.
I guess I got to get some news that I'm pissed about.
Well, one is Accept going on tour.
Oh, they are.
Or South American tour. And they're taking Joel Hoekstra out as a guitar player from, I think he's in Whitesnake, like recently, right?
Yeah, and he was also in Night Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it? I wonder about guys like this Joel Hoekstra, you know?
Yeah.
Because you go back, he's our age, right? He's in his 50s.
Right.
I look at his resume. Guy had no credentials as a guitar player until the whole rock scene was
Right.
done. He joined, I look in like 2008, played in so-and-so, 2009, Whitesnake. It's like, where were you 40 years ago?
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand these guys that come out of nowhere that are our age
Yeah.
that are now playing in these famous bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's bizarre.
So it's kind of weird. Especially Accept. I don't know.
That doesn't yeah. That doesn't
just-
make sense at all.
That's weird. Also, Saxon's going on tour. And you know what? I was like, wow.
Well,
I
look.
might go to that.
Right.
That's something you and I
Biff
would go
Bifford?
to. Right? Biff
Yeah.
Bifford. Guess who they're taking out on the road? Take a shot. Take a shot.
Saxon. I mean,
Saxon's going out. So they're what? They're 80s, right?
yeah, late 70s actually.
Yeah.
They 78, 79.
But I mean,
the power and the glory.
yeah.
Crusader. God, I mean, I would I no idea, Mark.
Uriah Heep.
What?
What?
Didn't we just recently say there was a tour that we talked about, and the what they were who
The
they were bringing
lineup
out?
was this.
We were I think we talked about it on the last podcast. It was
You're talking about like the bill.
yeah. It was just horrific.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, that was the. Oh shit! What was that?
I could look back, but
That was at Florida. Like there was a big festival in Florida, and we're looking at the lineup, going, "What?"
yeah.
Like Sebastian Bach was on there with like bands like totally out of his element.
Yeah.
I think it was that. There's a
So you're gonna go?
yeah. I got bought tickets. No, I wouldn't even. I'll stay clear of that.
Yeah.
Black Crow's got a new album.
Well, so that was one of my headlines.
No, that's one of yours. Okay.
They got a new song called "Wanting and Waiting."
Yeah, released today.
New album comes out. Stern played it Tuesday early. He wasn't supposed to, but he did.
Ooh.
The album comes out in March, I think. It's called "Happiness Bastards."
Yeah.
Have you heard the song?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh
I
my
just
God.
saw it, that it came out today.
The Black Crowes have a new song, and it's
You're
called,
kidding me.
Yeah.
No, it is fucking.
New album.
When the hell did this get announced?
I saw it today.
Stern played it Tuesday, and he wasn't supposed to, but it's fucking a good tune. Great riff. Great
Bluesy.
rockin' song. The drum beat is very different. You know, it's not This is
Well, Gorham's not in the band
right.
anymore.
This is probably the first recording of new stuff like this. They did a cover album called 72, but where Gorham's not on it. And the drumming is totally different. Like it reminds me of an AC/DC drum, the driving beat. It just sounds like DC. But check it out.
When's it get released, Eric?
Today. It was
Well, the
official.
single today.
Single
I don't know
today.
when the
album comes out, I think, in March. Or
Who's in the
April.
band?
It's basically those two with hired help.
Okay, yeah,
No one.
right.
Oh,
What
you
if
know what?
it's a lot of the guys from when those two played with went on Howard Stern?
Yes, it's that.
It's
band.
probably that lineup.
Yeah. Who I don't. I'd have to look again. I'm not sure of the lineup, but the tune is fucking good. So good.
Yeah, wow. They're
But-
great anyway. I guess there's a new rock fantasy camp at the Whiskey in L.A., and you get to jam with Michael Anthony, Tommy Aldridge, and Warren D. Martini and Sebastian Bach.
Wow. Does it
You
come
just
with
show
Coke?
up there. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of cool. A good lineup of,
Yeah.
Guys to
that's
jam
a good,
with.
That's a good combo.
Warren D. Martini. I mean, that's Michael Anthony. I don't know what the prerequisite is to, like,
money.
get in.
Right.
Oh,
I think-
money.
I think
Probably.
they pay it. Yeah.
Buy a big ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get to jam with those guys.
Yeah.
Can anybody else go? Is this the Mark Zarakotis show? What about
go ahead.
Derek?
Oh, I thought-
No,
What?
Well, I know.
Derek,
I
you
mean,
got
just-
news.
Go ahead.
Oh, hey, yeah, hey.
We'll go back.
Hey
and
guys,
forth.
how you doing?
I gotta grab something.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? So, Stephen Pearcy announced a new tour for this year. He's
Oh,
got
yeah.
9 dates so far.
He's doing Out of the Cellar, right?
He is doing that which is kind of cool. He's going to do all the songs. He just played the Whiskey, and you can check that out on YouTube. And I think he does the whole album.
Wow.
And he does the whole album with 2 other songs. I think he does like Sweet Cheater and some stuff off the EP. He
Right.
does Lack of Communication, and I forget what. Maybe You Think You're Tough. But so he's got that tour going. I would definitely go see it. I already looked. There's nothing in this area. Just
Yeah.
one last time to see
Yeah.
Pearcy.
Yeah,
out
for
there.
sure. And I tell you, that album, Out of the Cellar, amazing B-sides.
Yeah. Well, we're doing it this year.
Oh,
It
yeah.
comes out in 84.
Oh, great. So, yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Oof.
But yeah, that's a great album. That live show at the Whiskey that is on YouTube is pretty decent too. He's singing pretty decent.
Yeah.
So it's worth checking out. And the other tour announced for this year is Tesla.
Ooh.
Yep.
I looked at the tour dates. I didn't see anything coming around.
There's
here.
nothing in this area, but they've got more dates than Piercy. But
9 dates.
they've
Oh,
got
they
the-
got 10.
They've got the dates, and I wish Troy was back, but they still have Steve Mellow Brown on drums, right?
Oh, Steve Mellow Brown, yeah.
Not to be confused with his brother,
Well, Mick.
Wild Mick Brown.
Yeah.
This is Mellow.
Well, yeah, I don't think Troy's coming back.
No.
I think Troy's.
Yeah, it's
What are
too
they
low.
supporting? New album?
I don't know if they have a new album. That's a good question. All right.
Mild Steve Brown. That's funny.
Who is that guy? That's Wild Mick Brown's brother. It's
Mild.
Mild Steve Brown.
Riot has a 4-part documentary coming out.
Oh, wow.
Immortal Soul, a Riot tribute and concert film series.
Interesting.
Yeah, that caught my eye. I don't know where you've watched this or find it, but it's coming out.
Yeah, so Riot went through a lot of
We reviewed them,
difficult.
right?
Yeah, we
Last
did.
year?
Born in
Say
America.
ups and downs, but I say
Oh
more
yeah,
downs.
but I mean, they had two singers that were what? One of them was killed.
they're both
Traffic.
right?
Yeah,
Dispute on
Yeah.
the corner in Jacksonville
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
yeah. A lot, management problems and just a band that was really underrated for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only other little news I got, and I don't have a lot of data on it, is, when Jason Becker was really sick in the mid-'90s, Eddie went and saw him,
Yeah.
and he brought one of his guitars.
Yeah.
He brought Wolfgang, I think it's number 69. So, like, the 69th guitar made. And he gave it to Jason, signed it, the whole 9 yards. Well, Jason auctioned it off to pay for his medical treatments and everything and to keep him going.
Yeah.
And I think it went pretty well, but I don't know if you've ever watched that documentary on YouTube. It's touching. Eddie goes to his house and sits
Yeah.
down.
I know he did that back in the day. He's still alive.
Oh,
That
yeah.
has to be the longest living person, I think, that's had Lou Gehrig's disease, right? He's been alive for
Is it
with
MS
it
or-
for 30-something years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Is it MS or Lou Gehrig?
No, Lou Gehrig, he's
Yeah.
got ALS.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
He's been alive for...
Lou Gehrig had that.
How ironic you get a disease named after you.
That's Dennis Leary has a whole bit about that. Didn't you see that fucking coming? Freaking disease named after him.
Oh, that's funny. That's all I got
All
for
right.
news.
You got any more news?
Nah,
Any
the
more
only
complaints?
the only
the complaint I got.
the only
Yeah, you got
the
another
only
complaint.
the only thing is
Wait,
like
wait. Your panties
Take
are in a
that
bunch. Get
tampon
that.
out.
Take the
Jesus.
tampon. Everything new is not great. Give it a year, give it 6 months, and then are you still listening to the album? I went on to like iTunes.
Well, that's the
and
whole premise of this podcast. Is
Right,
it hold
right,
up?
exactly. Wait 39 years, then review the album. But I mean, I went on to went on to iTunes and then like Rolling Stone, whatever, and his album, and it's like people are like, oh, this is the great album.
Who?
We're watering down great. Well, it was the newest Ghost album that came out, and like I'm not into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but music is subjective.
But it's like it just comes out.
opinionated.
You say it's great,
Right.
It's like, are you listening to that a year from now?
I'm sure
All
there's
of a
an
sudden,
album
no.
you think is great that I don't think is great. And
Yeah.
same with you, Derek. I mean,
I like Madonna.
It's all relative to the person listening to it. You can't
But what
say
I'm
a
saying-
great album and then everyone in the universe thinks it's a great album because
No, but what I'm saying is that I think that there's a tendency in society to automatically, because it's new, it's great.
yeah, it's great.
But then a year from now, or 6 months from now, where's the album?
Yeah.
You're not listening to
It's
it
in the
anymore.
bargain bin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of bargain bins, I think Best Buy is done with CDs and
Really?
DVDs. I think. Just not
I
going to
thought
sell
they were
them.
done 10 years ago.
I don't know. Maybe they were. They gave up on something.
Well, I saw a great interview on YouTube. I don't know if you guys heard of a guy named Rick Beato.
Isn't that so good?
He brought some guy in. I don't know if
He
he's
used
a
to work
record guy
Record rep.
about
so
the
good.
demise of. I watched the whole thing last
So
night.
good. I have a question
They
about that.
and they tell you all the reasons why it happened.
Yep. I have a question about that with the album Van Halen that we're reviewing tonight, and I asked Greg about it, but he didn't get back to me. But we'll get into that when we get to the
Yeah, but then we're getting into things like, oh, you want to use our amps? You want to use our
Oh, yeah.
cabinets? And it outrageous
yeah,
cost for using the drums. Remember the cost of the drum sets?
yeah.
They're like, oh, these bands wouldn't bring their own drum sets in. We'd have our own drums there, and they would pay these outrageous amount of money
Yeah.
to record with those kits. And I think it was just that
Did-
kind of thing that
mentality.
that mentality. Yeah.
Did you catch the part where he said no one in the '90s played drums like on the bands? Like it was all session.
Yeah, it was
people
all
that came
session
in?
guys, except for Grohl, what was right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Which I don't know if that's totally true. I'm sure there was something like Kinney played everything, But I know where he was going with that, But that was a very good.
That was awesome.
I watched that whole thing.
He does great interviews.
And he knows everything.
Oh,
that guy is smart.
Yep. All right, let's get into. We're gonna do a little New Year. See how the year goes. We're gonna do a few predictions. So I wrote up a few. I don't know if you guys did. I messaged you and said, "Hey, let's do some predictions." Did you write up any?
Yes.
All right. Did you, Mark?
I have one that
That's all right.
that I want to throw out there, but
Okay. I'll start. We'll go around the horn and we'll see who answers, and I'll write the names, and then next year or December show during the year in review, we'll go back and see who was right.
okay.
And we each put in $1,000.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. Here's my first one.
all right.
Will Alex join and perform on the Sammy Mike tour?
I say no.
Not like numerous shows, just one time getting up there and playing one song.
Okay. Who goes? Right.
And it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll start new.
I say no.
All right. I say no too.
I think he's done.
Okay. Mark, what do you got? What's your one?
Mine is one I want to happen. I don't know if it ever will. Will Queensryche get together with the original lineup with DeGarmo and Tate?
I don't know enough history of what's going on now.
I'm going to say no. Rockenfield is in
Rockenfield's off, but I think Rockenfield would easily be pulled in.
DeGarmo's flying planes.
So that's the hard sell, right?
There's no way.
You can't get DeGarmo back in that. No. That's the hard sell.
No,
I think would Tate go back? The question is, would Tate go back if DeGarmo decided, yeah, I'll do it? Would Tate say, okay, I'm done with this makeshift Queensryche band?
Probably, but they've been offered millions of dollars. Trunk talked about that, and Tate was like, there's one member of the original band that refuses to get back into music,
which we know,
DeGarmo.
Yeah, but why? What happened with that band that's got him so dead straight on never joining those guys?
Not into music anymore, playing.
You think?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And he great guitar player.
And songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, so that's a no. No? No Queensryche reunion.
No.
All right.
Write that down. Oh, I'll take it here because I have them all. What do you got, Dennis?
Guns N' Roses releases a new album in 2024. So we're talking 8 songs, 10 songs.
No.
Whoa, what?
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 No, I'm saying it's a question.
You're right. Oh.
Yeah. Do you think Guns N' Roses is going to release an album full with new material?
I don't
in
even think they have a
2012.
full plan for.
No, I think they're happy with this never-ending tour that they've been on for how many years? They've been touring
since 2015.
Okay, so these guys have been on tour for almost a decade.
Yep.
Cashing in.
Yep.
Why do they have to make an album?
It's a lot of work to make an album.
Yep.
Right. What's the point?
Yeah.
They're all filthy rich. I think Duff McKagan's got a solo album.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing guitar and singing on YouTube. I'm like, what? You know about that?
Yeah. It's Lifehouse,
I don't care for his solo.
Yeah,
I don't like his voice.
He's writing it probably.
Yeah.
So.
This is like his third one. He's got.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, ready? My next one. Will Wolf show up on the tour and play a song?
Yes.
No.
Oh, of course.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Dan, no.
Well, I don't know if he'd show up on the tour. I think if it's in L.A. or somewhere where he lives.
That's showing up on the tour.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to go out of his way, but I think if it's local and he's
he's going on tour next year. If they collide, they'll play.
Yeah. I don't think there's a reason why he wouldn't. I mean,
I think this Hagar tour is going to be a massive flop.
Yeah.
It's not going to meet
I don't think Joe
expectations.
Satriani's the right.
I mean,
guitar
Christ, he
player.
just went out. He did the birthday bash, and then a couple of years ago, he toured.
Well, I think Derek, you alluded to this the last podcast. This is all about Sammy. It's supposed to be about Eddie.
Well, that's what he's selling it as.
Right.
But it's really about Sammy. That's
Right.
what's pissing me off. But I say he does. I say he collides with him and shows up, and Mike gets him to get there and play a tune.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Third
we'll see
one.
I don't have any more, but
I do.
oh, you have another?
Oh, I have a few more.
Oh, geez.
Will Dave show up and sing a song?
Nope.
Poof. I think yes, because he alluded to the fact that he would. He said something in the media that he said, "Yeah, bring it on," or something along those lines. I'm
I say
saying
yes. I say yes too. I say it just happens,
Yeah.
and hopefully he does like Somebody Give Me a Doctor because they play that.
Yeah.
Mike sings it.
I think
say yes.
I don't know. Sammy said some pretty bad
they
things
both
about
kinda-
them, and they're trashing each other.
Yeah. All right. Will Getty and Alex set up a tour?
I think they will.
Yeah, we're talking about Rush. For the
I
people
think
that don't-
I think they will. Oh, not Getty and Alex Van Halen. Well, I've been just reading that Alex Lifeson has got bad
arthritis.
Well, they set up
arthritis in his yeah.
They,
Well,
I-
and
I'm
the tour
gonna-
could be 5 cities. Could be Chicago, Boston.
Yeah, I
LA.
think. Man, that's tough. If he didn't have a problem, a health problem like that, I would say absolutely would happen. But with
Yes or no?
I'm saying no. I don't think because of that. I don't think so.
I'm going to say no.
All right. So it was their farewell tour last year. They're done touring, but will Kiss play a live show? Gene and Paul being what they had. This year.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Whoa! Look at that.
Of course. Oh, I have another one.
Okay.
I have one more.
One more drink or one more? All right. You want
Will
that?
the original Skid Row get together?
That is a good one, and I tweeted about them. Did you see that tweet I made?
Yeah.
I think yes,
I think they don't want to
but I think they're going to get offered.
from a personal standpoint, but I think from a money standpoint, they might put that aside and
Should
do
we
it.
say a tour or a show? A few shows.
Well,
I guess a tour would be
we're
more
not
than,
talking an album and a
Right.
tour. We're talking
more than 5 shows. I think that would have to do that to make it worth their while.
What do you think about that? It's a tough one.
I don't think. Okay, I'm going to say no. And the reason being is I don't think anyone's going to pay them the kind of money that's going to get Snake Sable to be like, all right, I'm going to deal with. There's
Yeah, the
deep
money is
hatred.
gonna drive it,
There's
right?
deep hatred.
But I
with
said
that.
it like on the last podcast. I don't know how they can't just separate the whole freaking thing.
They can't do it. For some reason, these bands can't put that shit aside.
No, for you?
I mean, I agree, Derek, with what you're saying. I don't understand it, but
Bash, you're coming in on stage left every fucking show, and you're leaving stage left.
Right.
The rest of the band's going to the right.
And that's what we're at with this. That
Yeah,
This is where this
That's
is
what it'd
at.
have to
so
be.
you think yes? Some millionaire or billionaire is gonna say, "I'm going to give you multi-million dollars for
All right,
for
so
Skid Row music."
Is this Sabo who's pulling the plug on it or pulling the
both of
strings
them.
on this?
The
Bolin,
three
too.
guy, yeah. They hate
Bolin
him.
and Sabo.
They hate him.
But then you got to get a Fuso back. I'm talking the original lineup, not just Bach.
He's in the Sebastian video. Like, they have a great relationship.
Right, so I think that's a package, right?
And he said he talks with them all the time.
Okay.
The whole band.
So Bach goes back, a Fuso goes back. All
Okay.
right. Nope. Man, I'm gonna say no. I think there's something going on that those guys just won't let it happen. I don't know if it's bowling or Snake, but
Well, the other thing
I'm
too.
saying yes.
Okay, well, and the thing is we're not talking about Pink Floyd money here. Like a Pink
No.
Floyd reunion where it's like $1 billion.
we're talking a
and you're
band
gonna
that never
play.
headlined.
I mean,
arena,
where's
right?
Skid Row going
But-
to play, even with their original lineup?
But if they got
Laurel
into a
Auditorium?
package, but if they got into
Right.
a package, I'm not talking them hosting a whole freaking tour, right? They're on a package with Rat
Rat
gets back
and the
together.
rest of 'em.
They get back together, and
Right.
Firehouse or whoever gets
Right.
back together. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I say yes. All right, ready?
Okay, Derek says yes on it. Okay.
I got two more. Will David Coverdale start a tour this year as Whitesnake?
Because the last on that was he's done, right?
Yeah, he has some health
Now,
problems.
here's the problem with me saying
Wow.
start a tour. Probably already be in the books by now, so we could be shooting ourselves in the
Yeah,
foot.
right.
And don't forget
But
that guy
it could be a
Joel
few
Hofstra, who's in Whitesnake, is taken off to Accept to do a tour. So there's nothing in the immediate future for Whitesnake. Because he wouldn't go to Accept if Whitesnake has something,
Okay.
ready to go.
Dan?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying this year nothing. No.
All right. Last one. You guys know that the tour got canceled. Tyler blew out his voice. They've said it's going to start up in this year. Will it actually start this year?
Yes.
Whoa. I'm saying
Yeah,
no.
I think it will.
I'm saying no.
Oh, you don't think so?
No. I think it's done.
Hmm.
All right. Cool. Well, here we go. Some predictions.
Yep, let's see what happens.
If anyone wants to send in a prediction, if you go to the website, saywhatyouvillpodcast.net, down at the bottom there's a form, like a feedback form. You can submit corrections to us or tell us that Dennis is cute or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he owes you money or something
Yeah,
like
or
that.
something like that.
All right, well, let's get into the albums.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'll let you guys pick which one
All right,
first.
let's start with Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Get this over with.
Let's get this over with.
Nah, that's not.
Wow.
Well, not necessarily true, but I mean,
So I listened to these in a different order, and I'll explain in the songs. But all right, this is Bon Jovi, first album.
we're talking. His cousin produces.
His
Tony?
cousin owned a studio.
He owns Power Station. Or was it the
Right.
Power Station?
Yeah.
That's his cousin, Power Station. Yeah, Tony Bon Jovi.
Tony Bon Jovi or Gio. Yeah.
So John worked
We worked there.
and then he ended up getting studio time, I guess, and that's I guess how he got into music. He ended up using some of that studio time to create this album that we're gonna.
Well, I think he
Yeah.
recorded Runaway, and then he shopped that around New York, and it got put on this like New York compilation rock album, and then Mercury got a hold of it and gave him the deal to do an album.
Right.
So
This was originally titled Tough Talk. And the
The
record,
album?
the record label said, no, we don't like that.
Yeah.
Just keep it self-titled first
Yeah.
album. So
it
that
does
was-
seem like a tough album.
yeah.
Mark, I was thinking during this, Tico fan?
I like Tico. Meat and potatoes guy, right? He's Phil Rudd.
Yeah.
Cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Lays it down. Great in the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plays what the song needs, doesn't overplay. He's not, doesn't have a ton of chops and, licks or whatever you want to call it, but solid.
Yep.
Rock solid drummer.
Nice.
You know?
What's interesting is this came in, as far as numbers, number 43 on the Billboard 200.
Really?
So it wasn't really successful. I mean, unless you think 43 was good.
Got him on the radar.
Yeah, and they also toured with the Scorpions.
On this, wow.
Yep. Well,
Yeah, and I guess another tidbit about Runaway, nobody in the band recorded that song but John and studio people.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name.
Sambora and
Yeah, they weren't part of it then.
they're
He put
the
band
bassist.
together after.
Yeah, and I guess the bassist Hugh McDonald recorded it, and he's actually in the band now because John Such left,
right.
and he took over, but he actually recorded that song.
You want to know something funny I read about Alex John Such? He was always a hired hand on all those albums.
Oh,
And
really?
he wasn't a band member in 2016, and then he must have left for this.
Well, he died.
Oh, he died?
Yeah, he died
Then he really
a couple
left.
of years ago. Yeah, he
Yeah.
really left.
So yeah, isn't that weird? He was a hired hand the whole time. I don't even know if he did the studio stuff. Like I think he was a hired tour.
A good question.
I've heard that he didn't record on the last. Look up "Slippery When Wet." And
Yeah,
see if,
let me look that
he's
up.
on
See
there.
who's on that.
The other tidbit I learned, Snake. I never knew. Dave.
He was in the band.
Well,
Wow.
he was John's guitar player.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jersey. Yeah.
And what's his name replaced him?
Sambora.
Sambora.
Huh.
Yep.
Such played on Slippery and Wet except for Living on a Prayer,
That's
Which
the hardest
was-
bass line.
which is, that guy Hugh McDonald again, who's actually in
way.
a band right now. And Mike Reno from Loverboy is back in ground vocals on Living on a Prayer.
So I wonder if Slippery When Wet was in Vancouver because he's from that area.
Well, it's
Right.
funny you mention that because Bob Rock was engineer on that in mixing. He wasn't a producer.
I think it was in Vancouver on that album. All right.
Producer was Bruce Fairbairn, who's another
Fairbairn.
heavy hitter, right? He's
Right.
done a
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
ton of,
Aerosmith.
ton of
Yeah.
albums. Yeah.
The other thing I didn't realize is
Was that Vancouver?
Aldo Nova's on this album.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Little Mountain Studios.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Then that's it. And they talk about that in the documentary that Bob started out as an engineer, and then
Yeah, because this is 86. This is probably before you start producing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And then the next album was 78 Degrees, and it wasn't until Slippery When Wet when they brought in
Desmond Child.
Desmond Child to write all the hits.
Right. Right.
Wow, we're going to talk about that. I was going to talk about that
Okay.
during this.
I'm sorry.
No, but you make a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
What's
they
interesting?
needed something to bring them to the next level.
Yeah.
What's interesting here is you start seeing the I guess what Bon Jovi was about to become. You get all
Well,
the ingredients are here, but at a lesser.
Well,
Not-
you mentioned that with Dawkins. We did that
Yeah,
Dawkins. I mean,
right.
like, the good stuff's coming down the pipe.
Right.
We're not there yet.
Right.
You know, we're seeing a little glimpse of things to come.
Right.
They're not there. Obviously, this is not
I
it.
think more importantly of what Bon Jovi is to become with this album is what mid 80s rock pop becomes.
Yeah.
The
Right.
firehouses,
I think it,
Takedo,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
all start to sound like Bon Jovi.
And I think
Yeah.
the other thing too, Derek, Mark, is that you could see where the record, the record label was really identifying with the strength of what's going on here, and that was John Bon Jovi and what he looked like, and the whole like we're gonna put him front and center, like that video. I think it's the Runaway video. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like it's obvious what we're trying to what they're going for here.
You liked it.
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't
I like-
have the guitar rack slinger. He didn't have that guy. He didn't have an Eddie. He didn't have a Randy Rhoads.
Well, I
he
didn't think he
have
sound-
that guy,
right.
that Zach Wilde. You know what I mean? I think Sambora almost thought he was that guy, kind of guy, but so it was all John, right?
Yeah. But I think you definitely, listening to these songs, are hearing John established his style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't sound much different on this album than the next one. Right. Like, he's got that dialed in pretty good. But he talks about that in an interview I was reading, where on this album, they kept doing all these takes. And he's like, well, I need to sing the whole song. And they're like, no, we're just going to cut it all together. They just took all these takes and cut it all together. And he's like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Punch-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but it created his style,
Right.
you know. He's definitely got a.
But I did. There was an interview with him I read where he goes, "We sucked until Slippery and Wet." He goes, "We weren't a good band until that album came out." What I think he's alluding to is Desmond Child.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in that Little Mountain studio, it just popped into my head. They wanted to record this album because they loved the sound of Loverboy, which was recorded there, and another band. What the fuck's it?
Honeymoon Suite.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Honeymoon
Wow.
Suite.
Wow.
They loved the sound of both of those albums,
Which is right in his wheelhouse.
I got a new
They're all in
girl
that
now.
that same wheelhouse, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
All right.
Runaway.
I always liked this song actually from them. The obviously heavy on the keys. This is the formula, the Bon Jovi formula. And Bon Jovi, I mean he's got a good voice.
Yeah.
I mean, he sounds great,
sing.
Stupid video if you saw the video.
Yeah,
It's
you're talking 80s.
Again, you saw what they were trying to do. You know, they were trying to promote him as a sex symbol or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Bon. Mr. Jovi.
Mr.
Yeah, but
Joe.
that's not uncommon for that
No.
era. I mean,
No.
what band wasn't trying to find that? I mean, Dave was.
They were
that
doing
guy.
it with Dave.
Yeah, this was a real bad video, though, dude. I mean, you get. Did you see the video?
Yeah, it's horrendo.
I didn't
Yeah.
go back and watch it. And
No.
That's probably good.
But I mean, it's easy to go back 40 years and poke fun at,
Yeah.
But how old were we? When we were 16, I probably would have liked that video. You know what I mean? Because you're a different person.
Yeah.
Now it's
I don't
cheese.
know,
Yeah,
man.
so I think the music
so-
holds up more than the video, is what you're saying, Dennis.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I like the song. I just like Sambora's guitar. I mean, I thought it was.
He's not on it.
He's not.
No.
That's no one's on it. That's that one song.
Huh.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
pull
Well,
it up
whoever was
now.
playing
who-
it
who's
sounded
on
great.
this. All sessions, all session guys.
Yep.
So, what'd you think of Runaway then?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good song. It's pop, hard
rock,
rock at
yep.
its core. Like Derek said, it spawned how many bands? After that with that same formula.
Right.
Solid guitar work, which is Dennis said. I was like gonna tip my hat to Sambora, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know who's playing guitar on that. Good opening track. I mean, solid. It's a good song. It's a good song.
I had the same. Nothing to add. Roulette.
Heavier song. I think the keys just kill this. This is Richie Sambora, and I thought his tone sounds pretty good. Chunky guitar riff. It came in at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, so pretty long song.
Yeah, it's a long.
Written by John Bon Jovi.
Yep.
I wrote it. Not a bad tune. More rocking.
Yeah.
I think that they play it live here and there. What did you say?
I like this song. I like the guitar riff. I thought it was a solid track. I thought the solo was good. I liked it.
Yep. All right. She Don't Know Me.
I thought this song sucked. Bad 80s song.
Yeah.
I thought this song sucked.
It was like
Then?
like they were trying to be Journey,
Yeah.
Well, it's not their song. They didn't
Oh,
write
it's not?
No.
No.
Whoa,
a guy
whoa,
named
whoa.
Mark
me go
Avis
back on
Zeki. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. It's completely
Oh,
written by
Mark
him.
Evsek.
Evsek.
Avsek.
Okay.
Assak.
So let's say this is a cover. The guy just wrote
The
the
guy
song.
just wrote the tune. For
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's not even that.
Now, who is this guy, Marcus?
I don't know. He's an engineer.
Oh, he was in Donnie Iris and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
okay.
I remember them.
Yeah, no.
So did you like the song, Mark?
Well, all right.
She don't know me.
I got pop, schlop, rock.
Yeah.
Right.
But what's funny?
I guess there's their attempt at a blockbuster ballad. They're trying to go for the big hit.
No.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a little
me
light.
personally, I don't like it. It's not my style, but I know what they were trying to do with it.
It's a little light.
Yeah.
But what's funny
A little
is
light in the loafers.
yes. Recently, though, while I was on a long drive with the family and the wife, this came on,
Really?
and her and I just started singing it. And the kids thought we were crazy, but yeah, not the greatest. All right, Shot Through the Heart, and you're to blame.
Yeah. So right, that's where you get drawn to, right? But
Yeah.
it's not that
Great.
song. Cool guitar intro. Then here come the keys, which is the Bon Jovi formula. Tempo picks up. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I said it was horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
got, David Bryan's keyboards ruins this track like Alan Fitzgerald ruined some of those Night Ranger songs. you
Yeah.
listen to.
Although I don't think Dave's on this.
Oh,
But yeah.
yeah, he
Whoever-
is.
Is he?
Yeah, Dave Bryan. He's got a different name. He
Oh,
dropped his last name.
Dave Valinsky?
Yeah. No.
I was just making it up.
What the fuck is his name?
That's all right. Huh, I didn't
But-
know it was him.
It's him.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? We listen to those Night Ranger songs, and
Oh, yeah.
that guy just
Too much.
It just somehow just puts a fucking dagger right through those songs. It takes the
well,
And we
power out of
potential,
them.
what it could be,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're starting to see the formation of the pop rock arena.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, Love Lies.
We're starting to get a theme here about John writing about all his failed relationships. Shot through the heart. She don't know me. Love lies.
Well, which is interesting because he's been with the same girl since high school.
Oh, really?
He's never
yeah.
done.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
he's never had a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't mind the guitar here, but it's not a great song. No.
I got a forgettable 80s pop track. Bon Jovi, barely a hard rock band at this early stage of songwriting. The songwriting got better later when they hooked up with Desmond Child.
Yep.
I'm thinking they're not there yet
Yeah.
because he's writing it all, right?
Yeah.
John, I think Sambor is writing it, but
Yep. Did I heard an interview with Desmond Child on Eddie Trunk, and he was talking about writing songs. We were talking about the classic Bon Jovi stuff he wrote, and they were talking about how he would get his cut from the song. And he says, "Write a word, get a third."
oh
That's
really?
the thing. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Whoa.
So one word,
One word,
you get a third.
you get a third.
I was like, "Wow."
Yeah. Well, the question is, they did 2 albums without,
Without him,
and they weren't great.
no.
What would Bon Jovi's legacy be if they didn't bring in this guy? Well, how long had this band even stuck around?
Yeah.
I mean, smart move, right?
Yeah.
They
Right.
brought a guy in, so obviously John and Sambora weren't like Eddie's a great songwriter, right? This guy just writes. We always go back to Van Halen or whatever, but there's just bands where you don't need an outside resource, right, to help you. I don't know if this band would have been who they were without bringing that outside source in.
Yeah, maybe not.
You know?
Sure. All right. I've already forgotten what song we're on.
Breakout.
Breakout.
Breakout. I wrote on Love Lies. I go, this song is just funny compared to the other albums we're reviewing tonight.
Yeah.
Quality-wise. Breakout.
Okay, so kind of along the lines of that Runaway, the first song, Formula, classic chorus. I thought this has got to be the song that Aldo Nova is probably playing on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It is
with
a
the
connection
riff.
with that band in
This
him,
is 5 minutes, 20 seconds. This
Whoa.
is a long-ass song.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that this wasn't one of the singles, I guess. I thought it was a decent song. None of
Yeah.
these songs are great, but, compared to,
Well, it's better than She Don't Know Me,
yeah,
which is the other single, right?
right.
Yeah.
Off this album.
Yep.
I got okay track, not great. More cheesy background gang vocals. They had some really cheesy background stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were doing. And the solo was decent from Sambora.
Yeah.
He had a pretty
Yeah.
good solo in there. But, okay.
Yeah. I didn't have anything different than you guys. All right, Burning for Love.
Blows.
I said, good Lord. Poke
Yeah,
me in the eye.
faster pace. I thought they were trying. I thought this is where like the Loverboy thing was. It almost sounded like a bad Loverboy song.
Like the Jovi Sambora writing team is weak. Child saved this band from obscurity. I really believe that.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
I think if they don't bring that guy in, this band never gets out of the clubs and disappears.
Right. Good point.
That's my,
Yep.
based on what I've heard off
Don't-
this.
Don't tell Frangus that.
Yeah.
He may have a different opinion.
Well, chime in, buddy.
All right, what's next?
Come back.
Comeback.
Good intro. The drums. This is kind of a rocker. There's a little bit of classic Bon Jovi happening here. I got confused. I think that's a keyboard solo, right? That's a guitar solo that's in the middle.
Oh, and what are we on?
Comeback.
Come back, yeah.
Yeah. I thought this was more of a Sambora song.
Yeah, I got he almost sounds like a male Pat Benatar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Pat sings those kind of songs.
yeah.
He's like the male version of Pat Benatar.
Male version of Pat Benatar. I like that.
I think that's him.
Yeah.
At least that era back
Yep.
then. I didn't like the song.
Yeah.
I wasn't into that.
I didn't like it either. I said, I don't want to come back.
Nope.
Nope. All right. I think the last song. Whew. Get ready.
Yeah. So piano. I like the open.
What?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
did?
I thought this was.
I wrote the intro. No.
Yeah, I thought the Sambora sounds decent on this. I don't really particularly care for the song, but I can see it as being. I didn't, based on what we're looking at, was probably maybe top 3 song.
It's definitely the framework of Bon Jovi, like where it's going.
Yeah,
Even how he's singing, how he's scatting around.
right.
Those breakdowns and yeah. Okay, song.
I got a cool opening riff.
Yeah,
Something about the riff in the opening I wrote down was cool. I go, decent song. I could see them opening up with this live. Good guitar riff, like the solo on this track. And I guess there was a breakdown in there that was pretty cool after the solo. So this wasn't a bad track.
No. All right. Flew through those 9 songs. Dennis, say what you will. Does it hold up?
no.
Really?
No.
Like you.
No, but there was a
You're
few
trying
songs I
you're
liked
trying to
on
create
here.
tension on the podcast if the Bon Jovi first album holds up.
No, but there was a couple tracks I liked.
Yeah, Yeah, no,
You
there's
know?
a couple tracks. Hey, well, here, I always go back to this. Was it better than the Quiet Riot album?
Yes.
Whoa!
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Better song.
Dennis won't freaking answer that question.
No, I'm just like you're busting on one of our.
I'm not busting on him. I want your opinion.
No, I didn't like Quiet Riot. I never liked Quiet Riot.
So does
I
that
thought
album-
You like Bon Jovi's first album better than
Yeah.
Quiet Riot's?
Yeah.
That's always asking.
Yeah.
All right.
I, as much as we goofed on some of these songs, better songwriting.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
in a
absolutely.
more digestible vocal. Than
Right.
Freaking DeBro.
Correct. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no doubt. No doubt about it.
Uh,
I agree with that.
better than the Night Ranger album?
No.
Okay. I just want to get a
Oh, yeah.
I just want to figure out where we stand.
No.
All right.
Midnight Madness?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Hell no.
Just I was comparison. All right, what's next?
Priest.
Let's do Priest.
Priest.
Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith.
Follow up to a Mecca. Go ahead.
Screaming
Well,
for
yeah,
Vengeance
I mean, that's
was
what
released
we're
in
talking about here.
Yeah, so Screaming for Vengeance was released in 1982, and that was when they broke America somewhat, right? That was the album where, they were introduced to the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Point of Entry and so
I mean,
forth.
they had British Steel.
Yeah,
and
great
they were,
albums.
They were
but-
almost there. And believe me, I love British Steel. I love
Yeah.
every song on that album.
But,
This Scream for Vengeance went up another level, right?
oh, 100%.
Brought
I
them
mean,
up another tier.
Yeah, they were now selling arenas. I mean, they were
Yeah,
huge.
they're playing arenas. I don't know what they were playing on British Steel. Were they even
No,
playing arenas?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. They weren't there yet. Screaming for Vengeance. Was
Put 'em
when
on
it
that.
went- oh yeah,
That level.
That's when Harley came out on stage.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. You got another thing coming. I mean, we all know those songs. And then 2 years later, we're in 1984, and then this album hits, Defenders of the Faith. Just a couple things, background. So, personal experience, I did a little research. I was at that concert with
I remember.
Heron
Yeah.
and I think Ron Giroux. I found the date, March 26, 1984 at the Worcester Centrum. I was there.
That was
saw this.
Who?
That was a
Judas
week.
Priest. It was
I
metal.
know.
The Metal Concord tour, and the opening band was Great White. And Great White, and I remember seeing it. I remember this. Great White opened, and it was a black screen that dropped down, and it just like a curtain. It just said Great White.
Yeah.
And they came out and they just ripped through Stick It and stuff. Jack
This
is Russell.
pre Once Bitten.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
this
this is
is-
they just they were supporting the first album.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, this band is awesome.
Yeah.
And I went out the next day and I found their that self-titled album.
Yeah,
Black.
that's got I don't want to face the day.
No, that's the next album.
Oh, that's the next album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
they
on that
did,
first
They
one?
did a Who classic, Who cover on that. I'll pull it up later, but yeah, Stick It was the
Yeah.
big one. But they just kicked ass, and then of course,
Kendall.
then Priest stepped on, and then I
nother
mean,
level.
listen, I'm and I think Chris commented on my social media page or whatever about this being a very defining concert for him. And his, he's now a super metalhead. He's into Metallica and that thrash stuff. But it started that night, and I'll tell you, when you went to that concert, guy, it was it was loud. It was it changed you. You know what I mean? For good or for bad, you walked out of there, go, wow. This is what it. Of course, I was a junior in high school, very influential, and I mean, I didn't go to a lot of concerts back then, but at that age, but you walked out of there, it changed you.
Would it be safe to say that was a week after Van Halen played the Central.
Yeah,
March
might have been.
17th.
Yeah, yeah,
They played the following weekend.
yeah. You're right.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep.
And you were both of those.
Well, I didn't go to the Defenders because I was with him and Chris Herron at Chris Herron's apartment after basketball practice. And we're like, oh, we're going to go see Priest, Defenders of the Faith. So I called my mother. Can I go see Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith with Dennis and Chris? Yeah, hell no. I go, fucking damn it.
I told my mother we were going to see,
Seals and Croft.
Peter Frampton. Sure, go ahead.
Oh, that's great.
We driving to Worcester. Like, if my kid was like,
my God.
where are you going? You're going Tuesday night, though? No, you're not.
No.
As a junior?
Yeah.
In high school? I mean, I don't even, I had a license.
Didn't it seem like all the concerts back then were on Friday nights? How come every time a band came to town, it was Friday? I don't think I ever went and saw a band back in those days when I was in high school that was during the week.
Well, I saw.
It always came on to the Centrum on a Friday night.
I saw Twisted Sister on a freaking Monday night in Worcester, and Dee Snider was up there, and he's like, "You guys are badass on a Monday night. You got school in the morning, and you what?" Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa,
Oh man!"
So Defenders of the Faith, man, it was like just, I don't know. We'll get into the details and shit, but this charts number 18 in the U.S., number 19 in the U.K.
Huh.
So you would think it would be a lot higher in the UK, but this was definitely a commercial success.
So,
Oh, no doubt.
so tell me, you guys are bigger, know more ins and outs of Judas than I do. I came in on Screamin'.
Right.
Did this album feel like more of going back to roots before Screamin', or
No.
it was just a
I think they're
progression of
I
Screamin'?
think they were pushing forward.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
progression.
Derek brings up a good point. I think it was a progression. I think it was a bigger sound.
Yeah.
I think here you're seeing, like with Screaming, if you're listening to that, there's like, okay, this is Tipton solo. This is KK solo. But when you get into this album, this was, I think, the first time that you see like dual solos.
There's a lot of them.
Dual solos. I mean, it's not just like KK goes, Tipton goes, and that's the way the concert was.
Yeah.
Like, we would sit there and you'd see Tipton on the left, and he'd be ripping out, and then his guitar would just growl to slow down, like a growl.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see KK just ripping and stuff like that. And what I thought was super cool was the way that Halford would he was like directing an orchestra. Yeah. He was just like, he had that presence where he would just like step back and just put his hands up and just, let the band just like destroy us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like we just saw, we were looking at Dave and it's a different style.
And Dave kind of wants to be.
He's out front. Yeah. Halford would just like step back because he knew that he had this band that was just enormous, that was just powering through. It was just.
No doubt.
I mean, you leave the venue and you're like, I just want to get into a fight, and I hate women. It's just, of course, when you look at these song titles, and we know what we know now. Right.
Right.
Rob and stuff and the struggles he's had. You don't want to really like research the lyrics. We'll just take them at face value.
And back then,
okay.
we did.
We don't care. And like now, I don't care. I mean, total respect for the guy. He's the legend, the metal god.
Yeah. When I see Rock Hard,
Ride Free.
Yeah, Ride Free. I'm like, I'm not questioning what that song's about.
Or Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker.
I'm not bringing up the lyrics.
No.
I'm just going to enjoy it.
So we got Tom Alum producing.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this guy.
So he was.
Did he do Screaming?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
I'm not familiar with him as a producer. What else has he done?
So Tom Allen had worked with Black Sabbath.
Oh,
You know, at the Mob Rules, Heaven and Hell's. He also did
great.
Def Leppard on Through the Night.
All
Yeah.
right, so he's got
He also
a
did
resume.
Crocus Headhunter. He also worked with Y&T, and he was with Priest from 79 to 88. And then,
What?
79
Holy
to
smokes.
88. Yep.
All right, so he's got a resume for sure.
And this is Judas Priest. You know, to put into perspective here, we're talking about a band that right now in 1984. This is their 9th release.
Yeah.
Defenders of the Faith was their 9th
Yeah,
release.
they've been
That's
around.
incredible.
Yeah. Hopefully they had some good deals with the labels. And got
Yeah.
some good quid.
Yeah.
What are they on? Columbia, right? Yeah.
Here, yes. Yep.
All right.
Let's
Should we
into
get
it.
into it?
Yeah, man.
All right. Free Wheel Burning.
Oh, I got ripping opening track. I love the riff. I love the chorus. Halford, powerful vocals. I love Halford's phrasing in the pre-chorus. He does that digga 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 digga, you know, whatever he's doing there. And he does, I think, on the outro of the solo too. Great track. I mean, great opening track.
Yeah, I mean, rapid fire singing.
Yeah, just
it's all here, right here. I mean, you're getting it, and kind of like the Van Halen finish too. You know, like it doesn't finish like
yeah, it's like a big.
like some it just crash and burn.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
It's great to start an album with a ballad. Like, no, great opening tune. Love the riff and the chorus.
The riff is
Just-
great.
Just, you know, we've said it before, rip your face off on the first song. And
Yeah,
get you
it's,
going.
it's so important, you know.
Yeah. And then usually rip your face off in the first song. And the next song, you know, you mellow it down a little bit. Let's go into Jawbreaker.
Yeah.
They mellow it down.
Holy
Jesus.
smokes. Jawbreaker.
Oh,
no
my
slowing down here.
No.
Another gem, just total badass.
Yeah, and you know, I got that we talk about that, like storming the castle, but this is more epic going into battle.
I was going to write Storming the Castle, and I said,
It's not storming the
not
castle,
same.
but it's going into, like, you want this playing when you're going to fight the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that great riff. The solos are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Legendary Halford screams at the end. I mean, what can you say about this song?
Yeah.
There's double bass in there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
At the end, right?
Well, it's like in the chorus or something. It all of a sudden it starts driving the song.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
He's just, you can hear him. He's just like, you can almost hear the spit that's like that he's projecting on the microphone. He's singing his guts out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what's
Yeah.
funny about Halford is with me. So you guys know I don't really like the operatic
Yeah.
singing
Scream.
like
Yep.
Iron Maiden and
But something
Right.
with
I don't-
him.
Well, you know what it is? He's got that, but with grit. And it's just raspy and dirty and
Yeah.
still like I'm gonna
Yeah.
punch you in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's just like a ballsy.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. No,
Almost like he would come out on stage on a motorcycle.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Oh, yeah.
When he pulls that.
That is
Fucking awesome.
All right. Mark's favorite. Rock Hard, Ride Free.
I got an okay track. You know, more good souls than Tipton and Downing. I mean, their guitar playing on this is fantastic. And, you know, Halford's strong vocals all over this. Okay track.
This was supposed to be called, originally entitled Fight for Your Life, and they changed that. Slower start, but it gets into that tempo, that riff, bum, bum, bum. And that's where, like, I'm like, oh my God, long intro. I mean, it's not as strong as the first two, but I like the tune.
Yeah.
I pretty much have the same, and I wasn't a fan of the chorus. But the solos,
Souls look strong.
in the beginning of this solo, he starts in, it sounds like Eddie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds a little like Eddie, but yeah, no, good tune.
Yeah.
Long song. What is it, Dan?
Yeah,
Sentinel.
5:34.
Yeah.
5:04. Yeah, 5:04
Yep.
seconds.
All right, next song, The Sentinel.
Jesus. I mean, this
Horrible
is
intro, huh?
Classic.
Oh my God.
just
Awesome.
It's
Just
classic Priest. You
ripping.
hear that and you're like, there's only one fucking band that sounds like this.
Yeah.
You know?
There's just fire and intensity that's into this song. It's just a great song. I think they play this live to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, it. Yeah.
The time change before the solo goes into the awesome groove. It's so good.
And they have that chugging guitar they do. You know, it's that fucking classic Priest chugging guitar riff. Yeah, it's great.
All right, moving on. Love Bites.
So this was a song they actually opened the tour with.
What?
Yeah, they actually, of all their songs, this was the one that they started.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I think it was like the intro, like the that haunting bass in the beginning. You know, with the lights are out and stuff. Yeah, it was really dark pounding bass. You know, not the strongest song on the album, but
I think it was a hit. One of the singles, right?
Yeah. Then the lights come on, because what would happen was I can almost remember this. It's like it was dark, and then all of a sudden you would hear like that intro come in, and then all of a sudden where he kicks in, where he goes, I forget the lyric, but the light would shine right on him only, and then all of a sudden, in the dead of night, love bites, love bites, and then all of a sudden you'd see bump, 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 like whatever that's going on with the drums, or you guys are musicians, and then next thing you know, you see like a light that will shine on Tipton. And then when he got done, and then there would be spotlight will go on to Downing. It was just back and forth. So I mean,
kind of a theatrical.
Yes,
start
exactly. So the live feel to this was
better than the actual song.
I mean, it ain't. I mean, look, we just got through 4 great tunes. I mean, for the most part. I mean, I don't think it's a bad song.
Seems like it could be a Joan Jett song. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got not a great song. There's a riff change in the middle and at the end of the track that I like. They did something there that I thought was pretty cool, but the song as a whole, I didn't think it was, for being the single, I didn't think it was that good.
Yep. All right, Eat Me Alive.
What the hell's he talking about? Any guesses out there?
Nope. No idea.
I'm not bringing up the lyrics. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No. Chugging riff, different.
Yep.
Different, the groove.
Come on, Dennis, say it.
I can't. I'm not gonna say it.
Well, so I said I wasn't a fan of this, and I really couldn't figure out why, though. I can't put my finger on it. It's just not resonating with me. Although, you know what it felt like to me? A Godsmack tune. Like Godsmack copied that feel in the chorus.
Yeah.
Well, I got more classic Priest chugging. They got that chugging.
Yeah.
They do it a lot. They use it a lot, especially back then. More rip and trade-off solos, right? With Downing and
I mean, even if you don't like
solos,
when they get to the solos, you're like,
ripping
holy
your face off.
Yeah.
And it has a hint of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Creeping Death from Metallica.
Yes.
He's playing a chord in there, and every time he hit that chord, it's like, oh, it's fucking Metallica.
Yeah, which is before Metallica.
Before Metallica.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of that,
All right. Some heads are going to roll.
Oh, this is interesting, because this song was written by
Bob
Halligan Jr.
What the hell's that?
But he wrote Take These Chains on Scream for Vengeance as well. So they use this guy for some reason to write some of their material.
Yeah.
This is a single. It's a classic song. I mean, they play some of this. I mean,
Oh, it's great.
I think that, like, the lyrics, we've reviewed a lot of albums where the words and the lyrics, even the almighty AC/DC, and you're going, what? But, I mean, these song titles can still hold up today. Like Some Heads Are Gonna Roll. I mean, it's just a cool collection of words, that phrasing that you can kind of like be
you
like,
could play that
that's
chorus
pretty cool.
to a hockey team coming out.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's a good song. It's a classic.
It's catchy. I mean,
Oh, my
who's
God.
not going to remember that after you leave that concert?
Singing it right in my head.
Some
now.
heads
Yeah.
are gonna roll. It's just
Roll, yeah.
catchy,
Yeah.
And
I could see him walking in the crowd and just like pointing to people.
Yeah, and let's
know what
put
I
this
mean?
into perspective. It's not easy to have catchy, memorable songs in metal.
Right.
Right.
That's what this band could do. They found a way to take heavy metal and mainstream it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I didn't write much more. Extremely catchy chorus. But I did come across the line here, a quote. This song was also lyrical inspiration behind Dawkins' Into the Fire.
No way.
George Lynch
Oh,
wrote.
really?
Really?
In a 2010
Yeah,
interview.
you can almost.
He wrote, we ripped the lyrics, we ripped it off, basically.
Huh.
Wow.
I'd have to go and look at the lyrics of both, but I was like, interesting.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
Yep. All right, what do we got? We've got Night Comes Down.
So this is the worst song. Well, not
Filler
the
track.
yeah, one of the worst songs, but balladish. But like I almost thought this was almost like Crocus. Like a slow Crocus song. I mean, what you have to appreciate is, I mean, Halford changes his kind of vocal, delivery here a little bit, which is kind of cool. I don't know. I didn't think it was a strong song.
It's kind of bluesy metal for them.
Yeah.
It's got that feel and groove, and I don't know. It's almost like it doesn't fit on here,
Right.
but definitely a decent tune.
Yeah, not bad. I mean,
No, I don't remember solo. If it kind of followed the bluesy feel of it a little bit,
right.
but I wanted to tell Mark.
Well, they had a cool bass groove on this
Well,
too.
so what's funny about that, when Ding Dong gets over here, back to the table, the bass groove on this song is the same as the bass groove on Gimme Lovin', or whatever that tune we had was.
I'd have to listen back on that. I
You don't listen to
remember
that all the time?
Huh?
You don't listen to our tune all the time? Remember that song we had? Gimme Lovin'?
Oh, I thought you said Whitesnake.
No,
Give
no,
me
no.
all your
No,
love.
the tune we had.
Oh,
Same
good.
bass line,
Yeah.
Same feel on this one.
I wasn't a big fan of this song.
No.
I don't have much to say about it. Filler track.
Yep. All right. Heavy Duty.
I got another filler track.
Yeah.
I wrote it. What was it?
I don't like they ran out
There
of
we go.
material. Just forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost like an anthem. You know.
Just kind
But what
of
about
the
the
end of
drum
an
sound?
album.
It was.
Yeah.
They were,
Yeah.
Processed.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But
Kind of a heavy riff.
good- I wrote that. I wrote not
Yeah.
a fan of the drum sound, but a great riff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the song wasn't as a whole.
And
Yeah.
when you think about it, that's it, right? Because the next song is the ending to that
Well-
song, right?
It's almost like the same song.
Right. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It was
rolls
like,
into that.
it rolls right into it. That's what I got here. Is that part of heavy duty? Defenders of the Faith part of heavy duty? I mean, where's the break off?
I mean, his vocals though are still phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know.
But I could see. Well, we haven't got the last song, so
All right, we can move on to it.
yeah.
Defenders of the Faith.
So I was gonna say, I mean, heavy duty preludes into that almost like seamlessly, right? It's almost like
Right.
the song doesn't
Yeah.
stop,
Right.
right? And then you're into Defenders of the Faith, which I think, what a great way to end the. I don't know. I was going to ask you, Dennis. Did they end with that at the end of the night when
No,
you saw it?
I
Because
think
that would be a great way to end that.
Yeah,
concert
I
with
can't
that song.
remember. I think it was something like heading out to the highway
Oh,
or
okay,
something
okay,
like
okay.
that. You know, the popular.
So I thought that would be a good way to
Yeah.
end that show.
Was that Head on the Highway? What was it?
Heading
Head on
out
the
to
highway.
the highway.
All right. Well, cool. Say what you will, Dennis. Does it hold up?
Yep.
Mark?
Yep.
That is 3 yeses.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. No, it's good.
Honestly, I don't think it's as strong as Scream for Vengeance.
That's what I wrote.
I don't think it is. I mean, if you put the two and two to get, those two together, I think Scream is a little better.
Yeah, I wrote the same thing. I said,
But this is still.
I think when you talk about a groundbreaking album, like with any band, they have a groundbreaking album, a great album. Then the next one's kind of like usually a big time letdown. Back in Black, Flick of the Switch.
nah.
You know what I mean?
For those about the rock.
No, for those.
For those about the rock,
Those two
Flick
are
of the
great.
Switch.
Well, I think
But-
of
but
Back in Black
this-
and For Those About the Rock the same as these two.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Black was better,
Yep.
but
Yep.
they're both great.
Yeah, but they're both great. I mean, this was just, I
know?
think this was very influential because of the guitar playing in the sense of the trade-offs with the guitar solos. I think that KK and
Where before it was either you take this solo, I'll take
That's
this
right.
solo.
Yeah,
Where
and if
here,
you
they
listen
tandem
back-
in the same song.
Correct.
Okay.
If you listen back to that, it's mostly like this is Tipton's song, this is KK's song. They even
Screaming.
said that. Downing said, I actually wrote that down because I did some more research, and KK Downing said he thought this was his favorite album of all of them.
Yeah.
Because he felt like he was more, he was able to
More
play
expressive.
Yeah.
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 So, for sure.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Well, I think he kind of took a backseat to Tipton
In the early days.
in the early days.
Yeah.
Tipton was
Not
always
on
the
this
main
one,
guy,
brother.
right?
Yeah.
Would
hear
you
you.
think that led to his leaving?
No, I think when they got to the later years, that Nostradamus bullshit concept album, the band was starting to get really weird. And, then like KK was like, then all of a sudden they went on this hiatus for like a year. And he's like, I want to keep playing. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We do a concept album and then, no.
Yeah. I hear you.
Cool.
All right, moving on. Our last album of January of 1984. All right, 1984, Van Halen. Little band called Van Halen. We've never talked about them. They never come up.
What year is this album?
Well, so what's funny is,
Well, it actually
On-
came out in 83, right?
no, came out
Didn't
in
it?
84.
Well, they...
No, so I'll
right.
I'll explain. So it actually came out on the 9th of this month, and people were posting on Twitter a picture of the album and talking about the album. So glad the album came out and all this. And I
Yeah.
retweeted and I said, people are glad that the album came out on this day because they didn't have to listen to fucking Jump anymore. They could listen to the rest of the album.
Yeah.
Because Jump came out New Year's Eve. They debuted
Yeah,
the
I
video
remember,
on
I remember
MTV.
MTV debuted it
Yep. Yep.
in New Year's Eve.
I think the song may have been out a little bit before that, and then the video came out. But then the album came out. It's funny. Everyone was saying the 9th, but then I saw another thing that said it came out on the 6th. But whatever.
So, Derek, your experience with when were you introduced in 1984? Was it through the Jump?
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it on the radio or the
Yep.
video because I want to talk about the videos at some point.
Because
yeah.
before this, I was introduced to Van Halen. Year or so before this, when I was at my sister's boyfriend's house, and they would playing around in the bedroom, and I was going through his albums, and I saw Women and Children first album, and I was like, what the hell is this? And he let me borrow it, and I took it home, and that was my introduction to Van Halen.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cute, Derek. It was introduced in 1978 when the first album come out.
Well,
But I'm old.
You're a lot older than
Yeah.
me.
You want to talk about our situation?
Whoa, hey.
Wow.
What Mark
yeah.
likes-
84?
Well,
For
I know what
84.
Mark likes in a man.
Yeah.
No, but go ahead.
Wow.
Well, I think it's important because I think, when people
Did you guys have a
listen
moment or something? What's
No,
going
well,
on?
when
no.
people listen to it's like you bring, you got a bunch of 50-year-olds talking about this stuff, and I think it's good to relate to.
Well, I think at this point,
How
were
old
we
were you?
on the bus or we took our bike?
Junior.
17. We're
17.
17.
Yeah.
And
I was
we already knew Jump, right? It was already
Yeah.
on, because they always released the single and the video before the album. And to say that we weren't that enthused might be a little understatement.
Well, didn't we
based
go?
on that.
Did we take the city bus or was
So
it
we took a
bikes?
city bus. Yeah, we took a city bus
to Strawberries?
to Strawberries. And
go ahead.
we bought, I don't know if we bought, I bought a cassette. I
Well,
think,
Strawberries opens up at 10 o'clock on a Saturday. We got there at 5 minutes of 10. So
Yeah.
we get there, the guy unlocks the door, and there's this box. It got delivered by, I don't know, back then, UPS or whatever. And the guy was sitting there with a letter opener, and he was literally opening
up
the
the
bus,
box with the
box,
albums
and
in it.
and in there was the Van Halen, like the cassettes,
Yeah.
and there were some albums there, and
Yeah.
I think it was cassettes that we bought.
We bought the cassettes.
Yeah.
And, honestly, Dennis, when I got home,
Well, I was with you.
you were there. I was.
So you play it?
We were a little disappointed.
Freaking mortified.
Well, let's not forget when we did the Van Halen Wally's thing. I think we rated this album last of the 6.
Right.
Yeah.
But you raised a good point, and you said
When?
at that event, and you've talked about this before, about the first minute.
Oh, there's 2.5 minutes before you hear a guitar.
And that killed you when
Yeah.
you were listening. You're like, oh
where's
my
the guitar?
God. I mean, you're right. I mean,
yeah, you used to the previous albums always opened up with some kind of Eddie fucking riff.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just out of the gate
Yep.
guitar. And
This
when we heard Jump on the radio and MTV, we didn't know where that was on the album,
Right.
right.
right? So you don't know when you fucking first put it on that's what's starting, and it's like,
Exactly.
oh, man, this is the focal point of
So,
this album.
well, you're being honest, and I mean, it's easy to look back at, this is awesome, and that was great. But the initial feeling back then was,
Yeah.
I mean, Van Halen represented more of a darker sound. It was more of a, it was Fair Warning. It was like that album you talked about,
Women and Children
Borrowing,
First.
Women and Children First.
But even Diver Down had some good, like Hang 'em High, and
Oh yeah.
there was
Romeo
ripping
and-
guitar
No,
on
no,
there.
Yeah.
Full Bug.
Full Bug.
Full
there you go.
Bug, and
Well, this is the start of Eddie wanting to be more melodic in his writing, and he's displaying it in a few of these tunes, and it becomes extremely apparent that he wanted to go more melodic when 5150 came out.
Right.
Like it's a
Yeah,
more,
that's the
and
direction
He gets
this-
a melodic
this
singer
band
to
went.
do it with singing.
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like 2 minutes and 33 seconds before you hear a guitar. And it's a guitar that's in the background.
It's a soul and Jump,
Yeah,
right?
it's a solo.
Yeah. Yep.
So, 8 songs. Short
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, not
Right.
a lot of tunes on
33
it.
minutes.
But I remember Dave interview once said, "Hey, you can have 12 songs on an album, and
Three
only
shit.
only 6 or 7
Yeah.
are good, and then we just trimmed the fat We get rid of it. We just put the good ones on there.
So there's memos that have gone around that there was more songs that were going to be on this.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah, I
you seen
wrote
that?
them down.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was some that either the titles got changed or they just never appeared on the albums or they appeared later somewhere.
Yeah.
Baritone Slides, Lie to You, Ripley, which we know about. That was Blood and Fire on the Different Kind of Troop. Anytime, Any Place.
About 5150.
Forget It, 5150 Special.
Do you think that was the song 5150 from 5150?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I love that name. 5150
special.
special. This just sounds great.
Anything to Make It Right and Won't Let Go.
Yeah.
There were no lyrics associated with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, number 2
This
hit
is
the
still
charts.
Templeman, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And Don.
15 in the UK.
Huh.
It only hit 15. Number 15 in the UK. 6th release for those people, that may not be Van Halen fans. This is number 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I didn't realize with this album, Jump, first single. Second single was I'll Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were
Yeah.
you thinking
Because,
like Panama?
Yeah.
or Hot for Teacher.
Well, I knew
Yeah.
that was last.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you were to only get the singles, you'd be like, what's Van Halen becoming? You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's a good question. I think, we'll talk about that
Other than what
more.
I just said.
Huh?
Other than what I just said, a more melodic.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, I
Anyway.
got some points to make.
So,
Let me say this too, and we can. For those who don't know, if you go to Say What You Will podcast.net, we have that Van Halen bracket that we played at that live performance we did down at the bottom, and that's all the songs from the first 6 albums, and you have to do it's a bracket challenge, and you have to come to a number 1 song. And I
what
forget,
was the number 1 song?
Unchained, I think.
Yeah.
so
But it came down to that, and I think Full Bug. I think it was. Like
Oh,
Unchained.
man.
I mean, it was close.
I think what's underrated about this entire album is the impact that the videos had back in those days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like in terms of our
Especially
generation,
Panama.
on our generation.
Yeah.
I mean that the we talk about the music, we talk about the keyboards and Dave and stuff, but those videos were so impactful. And the other thing too to point out that you're all experts on Van Halen, but for other people not listening, there's no cover tunes on this.
No.
And this was an effort by Ed to be like coming from Diver Down, where he didn't
He
like
had enough
that.
of that.
Well, no, they was like, we're not doing this again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. They put enough on that album.
Well, and is it safe to say
Do it our
that
way.
that Panama video is what spawns a lot of musicians back then to want to be rock stars.
Oh,
You
yeah.
watch that video and you're like, I want to do that.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
You know what I thought was cool about the Jump video was it's different vocal than the album.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Coming out of the
He does that.
yeah,
Yeah.
coming out of the solo.
It's not on the album.
Yep. It's so funny.
I know.
Like, why do that?
That's Dave. That's just Dave adding something
Yeah.
he thought was probably missing. He probably wanted to do that later and said, shit, I should have done that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know?
I think the big thing from this album that I thought from all the other albums from Van Halen was the fun vibe versus the darker vibe that came from the previous albums.
Oh, this was definitely
This
lighter.
was like, it was like having a good
Party.
time, party. And maybe that was part of like the scene back then in the 80s and where people were wearing pink and different colors and bright colors, but I mean, this was, definitely a change from Fair Warning, a lot of experimental going on with Ed's guitar and one foot out the door, whatever he was doing, 1 foot, the
it was a darker album. Not like
Yeah.
dark. I mean,
Women and Children's first, and then of course,
Right.
God damn, the first two albums. This was more,
party.
Yeah,
You put
and I
this
think
on-
it pulled in. It pulled in like it's funny. I played this on the way here. I told you I had the 3 college kids that drove me here because we're drinking as usual, and and I don't drink and drive.
You drink and then drive.
No, use Uber. And I played this, and then I played, and the kids and one of the kids, Brandon, goes to UNH, and he's like, "This just sounds like an album that's more fun." Compared to I played 5
party
songs on it quickly. I zipped through, but it's great to get a perspective from a 19-year-old,
From a different
an
generation.
18-year, different generation that hasn't been infected or been there or whatever. And and then I played here's Unchained, here's Women and Children First. I played a couple quick snippets there, and it's more of a darker sound.
Yeah.
And then this is more like Sign of the Times, we're gonna party.
Well, it's
and
more
have-
mainstream, right?
It is.
I mean, not only a rock enthusiast and musicians like Derek and I and stuff like that listen to it, but the soccer mom puts it on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crossover. I think this album's a crossover album. Jump, which we'll get into, is not only on the rock radio, but it's on pop radio,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Was that deliberate by Eddie? I don't know. I mean, or is that just what he was doing?
He was trying to evolve, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But isn't this more like Don Landy and Eddie? This album more.
I think
so
Don
than Ted?
supported his direction he wanted to go in.
Yeah.
Ed's tone started to change a little bit on this album. Started to get a little more
cleaner.
Yes.
a little tinnier.
But Ted
less
didn't want
distortion.
this, right? That Ted wanted Jump or the keyboards.
Oh, I don't think they did.
No.
Him and Dave were trying.
They
to.
hid the
Dave,
tapes.
I don't think Eddie was backing down at this point.
Well, it was another reason that they they recorded this at 5150. So it's another reason that he did that was I can finish all these songs without them and then present it, type of thing.
Right.
Right.
So,
Well, he'd live in that studio.
oh yeah.
You know?
So I have a question about the studio. Did Ed give studio time to the band, or did the band pay Ed for the studio time? And that was my question to Don Landy.
I
not Don.
I don't think he was charging the band.
I don't know. How do they do that?
Nah, I think that was just. There's no way he was charging. Well, he's not charging his brother.
Was he charging the label?
Man, that's weird.
Yeah, I was thinking about after watching that video from Rick, I was like, do you think 5150? How did that all go? Were there chargebacks to the...
I don't think it's more as. I think it's something they didn't have to pay for.
No, I agree, but
It's
I was just wondering from a business perspective, was there any of that happening?
Yeah. Yeah, not sure.
What's interesting about 5150 is when Ed filed a permit to get it built. Did you hear about that?
You seen the making of it there?
Well, before that, when he filed the paperwork to the town, the
He said
city.
it was going to be a racquetball court. or
Yes,
something.
I thought that was
Yeah.
freaking hilarious.
Yeah. And then he just built it up.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Put it in the court and then built it up.
But what's cool is I also heard that Ed loved Fair Warning. He thought that was a great album, and he loved it, the experimental. And he said that the record label, the lack of commercial success from Fair Warning is why Diver Down happened, because of the cover tunes.
Well,
and
that
everything
was driven by Dave.
Well, what happened was they actually created Pretty Woman. They did the cover of Pretty Woman just to release as a teaser. It went out and it was a huge hit. Then they started to produce the video for Pretty Woman, and they didn't have the mini movie that they made was longer than the song, so that's why he wrote Intruder in the front of Pretty Woman, and then the label was like, you guys got to go do a cover album, and they did most of the cover. I think they did that album in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Did the whole thing. So
I like that album.
I do too.
I like the songs on it.
Even though it's covers,
it's a few covers, but
can't
there's
tell
some
that they're
originals on there though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We got little guitars,
Secrets,
Hang 'em High,
right?
Full Bug.
Full Bug. I mean, there's originals on there too.
Yeah. I don't know. Listening to this, Al, underrated.
No doubt.
It's just so weird. I mean, he's now into the Hall of Fame,
Which
well, I don't
rightly
think it's happened
so.
yet, but he's been put in, right? Did they do like a big ceremony? I
don't know.
think.
I'm not sure.
I sent you that video that Dave's drummer there,
Ray Lozier.
Ray, playing a bunch of those classic Al
He's
riffs.
a good drummer.
Yeah.
I saw him with Dave at the casino.
Hampton?
Yeah, way back,
Whoa.
and he was a drummer. He was fantastic. He's in Korn now.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's what
Yeah.
he said in that video.
But he's a great drummer.
All right, should we jump into this?
Sure.
Yep.
1984 is the first song.
You know, like Dennis and I touched on, this is not what you want to hear. Opening up a Van Halen album, right?
Right.
Back in the day. But as a 58-year-old guy now, and I listen back, I go, nice synth work. You know what I mean? You have a different appreciation for this. Eddie just staying ahead of his peers. You know what I mean? You're talking 1984 here, right? You're talking Rat, Motley Crue, all these bands that are fresh and they're playing metal and hard rock, and he's moving on. You know, he's always ahead of the curve. He's like, well, you're there, I'm here. Right? And this is a great representation of just a guy that's just got a vision and just moving ahead. You know? Not staying. You know, guy could be a rock god forever, right? The guy could play guitar and play the hard riffs that he's always played, but he's a visionary, you know? And I think this is a testament of this guy just moving forward and staying ahead of his peers and just going, okay, you guys are here and I'm here.
Yep.
I'm going here. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it now. I didn't look at that then. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? You know, I want to hear fucking heavy guitar. But now I think this guy's a visionary. He's moving forward with his musicality. He's not just sticking what's safe. You know what I mean?
I think it's a symbol, and that symbol is him putting a bookmark on this album saying, this is my album. This is not Dave's. This is nobody else's.
Yeah, he's
This
doing
is
what he
mine.
wants to do.
I'm going to do what I want to do, and this is me doing this crazy, weird shit on, whatever I'm working on. But
Which raises a good question, because there's not a lot of difference between this album and Diver Down as far as production, the people involved. It's still Warner Bros., still Don Landy, it's still Ted Templeman. What gave him that breathing room to do this on this album?
His studio.
right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's what I think.
And we realize that Dave didn't want this shit on
No.
it, right?
Well, I think this was approached back on Diver Down, and it got the kibosh. But apparently this song, 1984, is actually a longer song. It's a big piece, musical piece, composition, and Don trimmed it down to this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Didn't know that.
All right. Jump.
Obviously a classic song, a legendary song, but very controversial. I think the drums on here are so powerful. Yeah, I think we see this on all the songs. Alex is really making his mark. I mean, I don't know. It's not something you would expect from Van Halen at the time, but, it's a song that will grow on you. And this is Dave. Dave's having fun. Mm-hmm. He's doing a great job on this.
Right, but this is another testament to Eddie staying ahead of everybody in the industry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, we're Van Halen, but we're not going to just keep writing the same stuff. Mm-hmm. He's evolving, right?
Yeah.
He's evolving.
Whether you like it or not.
This is what we're doing.
So I love Alex's cymbal bell work on this. The part where it goes, "Oh, can't you see me standing here? I got my back."
Yeah, it's all on the bell.
He's
I
hitting
love
it.
that.
Oh, he's in the groove and the beat on that thing. It's like,
And the solo.
it's so
What about the
good.
drum work and the solo?
Oh yeah,
That's tactical.
yeah.
There's a lot going on there. I get the same thing. I think it's the biggest and only number one hit from this band, right?
Yeah.
Crossover song, which we talked about earlier. You can listen to this on rock radio. You can listen to this on pop radio. You're going to hear this every time there's a break in action at a hockey game.
Or at the grocery store.
This comes on. It's in a grocery store. Great synth playing. His solo in this on the keyboard is great. I mean, this guy is... Who knows what this guy could have been as a pianist. Right. If he put the effort he did with guitar.
Well, after this, don't forget, I think it was after this, maybe it was a little before, he did a bunch of soundtrack work for movies.
Yeah.
He did?
A shit ton. I'll find it for you.
Yeah.
There's a whole compilation of all of his soundtrack work that he did.
I mean, think about it. How many other guitar players in rock bands in that era could play piano like that? On an album.
Right.
Right.
I mean, Sykes didn't play do any of that. Or, Zach Wilde or
Richie Sambora.
Sambora could barely play the guitar. DeMartini.
Right. No.
These guys are just like, we're guitar players.
Yeah, he's
Eddie was like, well, I can play guitar.
He's an innovator, and at this time, he's hanging out with Alan Holdsworth.
Yep,
who's a big influence.
Who's a fusion jazz guitar player?
Yeah, no doubt.
Pretty wild. I mean, I think Eddie really appreciated him and wanted to work with Holdsworth a lot more than he had time to. But
and I think he used a lot of Holdsworth.
The harmonics and stuff.
And he incorporated that into his playing.
Yeah.
Yep. And classic ending of this song is Top of the World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So apparently he played that riff also live at the US Festival or another.
Oh, really?
Yep. He plays it for just a little bit. I haven't heard it yet, but I heard another podcast talk about it. So I was like, I got to check that out. All right, next song, Panama.
Never heard it.
Pumping groove, Ed's guitar, classic chorus. There's only one guy that could sing this song. Only one guy.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, it's funny you say that. I got the same thing. Classic track. Played on every tour until the end, right? I mean, you weren't going home without hearing.
No.
But Sammy played it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him on 5150 and all the other tours that he was on. And, to your point, Dennis, is it like Dave singing it? No. I mean, Sammy doesn't have the same bravado, obviously, when he sings that song. And we talked about the video.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Seeing him
If
coming
you're
out
a
of the
young kid
hotel room,
watching that and you want to get into the
the
music,
towel with the cops,
you're like, that's what I want to do. You know?
and Weird Al in the video.
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
that looks like Weird Al
Oh.
in the crowd.
Oh, when he gets up and points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
But, man, did they just set a precedence for rock and roll,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, back then. And I don't know. I mean, is Dave involved in the production of that video?
Oh, I'm sure. Him and Pete Angelos.
I mean,
were the
what
whole
a
masterminds
masterpiece of a video
that. Yep.
for the times. It was just like, oh, my God, I can't wait to go to this concert, you know?
Yep. What's funny now when I listen to it, though, and I know, and I've learned so much that Ed loved DC, you listen to this riff, and you're like, huh, change the stroke and change it a little bit. Angus could be playing this. And the way Al's drums are just driving,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and I think they're
it's-
big fans of
Oh,
AC/DC.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And then
know?
Eddie just adds all his little tasty fills and makes it his. It's so cool. Yeah, Al's rhythm on this is so just driving forward. Perfect little classic solo with a classic breakdown.
Oh, the breakdown's great.
It's so good. Eddie's Lamborghini being recorded there for the,
Right.
you know.
Just so, they're so innovative,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ted Templeman needs to get some credit here.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Oh,
Don
absolutely.
Landy.
Yep. Yeah. It's so cool. All right. Top Jimmy.
Oh wow! Now that so harmonics on this.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the first thing I got. Love the harmonic guitar intro.
Yeah. Who would think to start a song like that?
Oh, it's fucking great.
It's almost like he said, I'm going to take Mean Street, slow it down, clean it up, and play a
Yeah.
little jazzy whatever.
And
Yeah,
then you get
it's
the
just-
classic chorus. You know, top
It
Jimmy.
sounds awesome.
It's about a band in L.A.
Yeah.
Top,
Top Jimmy into something.
yeah.
Or something, yeah.
I think it's a song they've never played live. I think they maybe did it on the
Yeah,
reunion with
they
Dave.
didn't play it on 84.
No.
Tour.
Such a different tune, but just
And
cool.
the verse almost has like a bluegrass country
Oh yeah,
picking.
twang.
Picking.
Yeah.
Picking style, you
Yeah.
know?
Love the solo change.
Oh,
Classic
solos.
Ed and Al. Just freaking timing changes of those two going at it. It's just and Al, I love Al's ending.
Oh, I like it.
I mean that is just,
Yeah. Yep.
it's all kick, right?
Yeah, it's all just those Simmons kicks
Yep.
or whatever.
Just it was so good.
And the solo's great.
Oh yeah.
It's just awesome.
All right, moving on. Drop Dead Leg.
This is my favorite song. I just love this song.
This is my number 2.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't argue. But in a late, like I found that interview on Guitar World with Ed and that guy we were listening to, Mike Gill. He's a writer for Guitar World, and he interviewed Ed like one of his one of his last interviews, you know. And they were talking about this album. And Mike was asking him about some of these songs, and Ed was saying that this song was kind of, he felt it was kind of like the Back in Black AC/DC song, but a jazz version.
Yeah,
Like
he
it
slowed
really
down.
slowed down.
So that's what he did, though.
That's what
You know, you're very unique, you know.
Yep.
But to me, again, Dave comes through here.
Yeah.
You know,
He's great on this album.
drop
Yep.
dead
Dave is
legs.
It's easy to pick fun of Dave circa 24. But when Dave was in his prime, he was a great vocalist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I got another great track. I love Alex's drumming.
So
on
on
this
his
track.
on his drumming, I have Al has this delayed crash after every verse that is so on the off.
It's not on the...
It's so good.
Really?
Oh my God, I just love it. It's kind of it's not up front, and then the riding the bell, Mark, in the chorus.
Oh, at the end of that.
No, that's the end. You're thinking of.
What am I thinking
You're thinking of Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah.
But he does a riding on the bell during the bridge or the chorus. It's just fucking awesome.
The guy, he was just as innovative as Eddie
Yeah.
with a drum set.
Well, think about how many
He did
times.
so many things that you were like, he's playing this fucking ride cymbal in the verse,
Oh yeah.
you know? And then he'd play the hi-hats in the chorus.
Yeah.
Like on Cradle Will Rock. It's like he was so creative in his drum sound.
That guy, that drummer who did the video I just sent you, Ron or whatever his name is, Roy. He talks about how Al would mix it up, and he was talking about one of the songs. I forget if it was Naturally Wired or Cabo or something, where he turns it around and he's playing what would be snare with the kick, and the kick would be the snare.
Yeah, he's just...
Wow.
You know, you think a lot of that is, all right, Eddie, you're going to be innovative, so am I.
Well,
I think he was driven by Eddie
well,
to make his own mark. You
let's
know?
not forget, they just played together all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
to come up with that snare drum sound he's got,
Yep.
how do you create a snare drum sound? It's like, seems like, easy enough. Try and do that.
Yeah.
Try and come up with a signature drum sound.
Yeah.
Right.
That is not easy,
No.
you know? And he did. And
What do you have? What else do you have on it?
the guitar solo outro is great. And the riff outro is fucking great. I mean, it's great all the way around.
I just wrote amazing timing changes from the whole band. Amazing little touches from the whole band. Al's delayed crash on the verse, I just love. And then going into the solo, it's just so damn grooving.
Oh,
And,
it's awesome.
Kind of bluesy too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Great song.
Oh, the outro. This does have the outro of him jamming, right? I think it does, because I said I'm not too sure how many tunes Van Halen has with Al.
Yeah, it's like
Al and Mike are just grooving, and Ed is just soloing out on the tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, good tune.
Awesome.
Hot for Teacher.
Well, I mean,
What do you say
classic single, legendary song, drum intro, obviously.
Probably the greatest drum intro ever, right?
Yep.
What's better than that intro?
Then we
Any
get
rock band.
Then we get into that blues boogie shuffle going on.
No one, I wrote right here, this is what Van Halen has been famous for since the first album, that rock swing shuffle that they do.
Yeah.
No one does it better than those two.
Nope. That's it. I mean,
And the solo.
speechless.
The solo
Yeah, well,
is
yeah.
Oh, the solo. Jesus. Yeah, I got great double bass shuffle. Eddie riffs on this track. Solo is absolutely shreds.
Are you guys shocked, you listeners out there, about this, review of this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm not being
right.
biased because I'm a Van Halen fanatic. I mean, come on. This speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
come on.
I bet, you ever seen on YouTube where they do those videos like of someone listening to an album for the first time? I bet if they have one for this, like a 16-year-old listening to it, they're probably like,
What is
wow,
this?
what?
Yeah,
What am I listening to?
exactly.
Yeah.
I play it for my kids, and they're like, they don't even know what.
Well, there's nothing like this anymore.
No.
There's no more music like this anymore.
Right.
No. All right, next song, I'll Wait.
So we got, this is actually only the second keyboard song in the album.
It's the second.
So we talk about
second single.
Second single, but this album sometimes gets a lot of backlash for keyboards, but there's only two keyboard driven songs on this, right? Jump and this.
Yeah.
Everything else is guitar.
So Michael McDonald wrote the lyrics.
Yeah, Michael McDonald
right?
had
know
to help.
that.
Dave-
Well,
Dave
he
was
wrote
struggling.
the song.
And Roth and Templeman didn't want this.
No. Well, they didn't want the song, but then when they got the song in, Dave could not come up with lyrics on this. So McDonald from the Doobie Brothers, who Ted produced,
Yeah.
went to him and said, "Hey, can you?" He sent them
So when he did lyrics, I
He
thought
only
he
did
had
lyrics.
help write it.
Nope. He sent them a version of it without lyrics, and he came in and wrote it. Or he helped him. He definitely the chorus.
So I mean,
So he helped. Oh, vocally.
He vocally.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it. That's it.
So, I mean, as far as a slower song, it's not bad. I mean, it's, what's interesting is there's a live version on the Tokyo Dome. And if you listen to that, there's more guitar than the keys,
Yeah.
and I think it sounds better, actually.
Well, I think
It's
after,
more of a heavy, faster tempo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so listen to it. It's pretty cool.
Well,
I mean, obviously, Dave's vocals suck.
would it be
on
safe to say after 5150, Eddie stopped playing keyboard live?
Yeah. Well,
I don't think he did it after he started to either have somebody backstage or just pre-recorded, right?
yep. And so what's interesting about this song, though, you remember when after they finished this tour, they went and played Donington, and that video surfaced over the summer of Eddie playing this and Michael Anthony playing this.
Yeah, they're both playing.
both playing
Yeah,
keys.
that's right. Yeah, you told
So-
me.
Dave's
So
out there by
Michael must
himself.
play like the bass lines
does.
on the keys, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, not just bass, like he's playing parts too.
Yeah.
But Derek, you need to Tokyo Dome. Do you have it? The live version?
I'll look it up.
It's
year?
pretty bad. It was that last release.
Oh,
they
the
did.
last.
It was
okay.
terrible. Like Dave's voice was terrible. Listen to that song. Eddie is doing more. It's more guitar over, and I think it sounds better actually.
Yeah.
Now, not Dave's vocals, obviously. This is 2016, but
Right.
But you hear him playing the guitar instead of the keyboards.
The keyboard
on
part,
the
yeah.
synths.
Which I'm surprised they wouldn't just have that pre-recorded
Yeah,
track. going.
no, I think it sounds better. It's more faster tempo.
What's funny is I have this all downloaded. I'll listen to it.
Yeah. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'll wait. There we go.
So I got, we already talked about Michael McDonald, help write it. We talk about that. Another song diehard VH fans are not going to like, right?
Right.
This comes on, you're like, what the fuck?
I think I wrote outside of 1984. This is my least favorite song.
Right.
Yeah. But as a song, this is a well-written song.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I listen to this now, I go, fucking, this song is
Yeah.
a great song.
Do you like the do 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 do? You like his drum fill?
Yeah, you used to hate when I played that. You're like, and I'm like, I got that from Alex, man. Eddie Soul's great.
Yeah.
And like,
And the crashing and the drums and the solo. The
yeah, I mean, I
timing.
appreciate this song more now than I did obviously in '84 when it came out. I'm like, oh, come on, where's the hard rock? But now listening back, it's a good tune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. No argument here.
Yep. All right. Girl Gone Bad.
quick tempo. This is the Michael, Alex jam. Did you see that post by Michael Anthony?
Oh yeah, he said this is his favorite song. This is
Yeah,
mine too.
yeah. The harmonics,
They're just all ripping in this song.
And Dave is so patient. He waits, like the song builds up, and it's just, incredible. To the main, builds up to the main riff.
So you say that, Dennis. I'm like, normally someone, a producer or something would say, hey, you got to shorten up that intro. Whatever.
Yeah.
But this, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I got this is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yep.
Of course, we heard a preview of this on the S Festival, right?
In what song?
Oh,
what song did they
wow.
break into this?
No,
what song? What Van Halen song were they playing?
What were they playing when
they
they went into Go Gone Bad?
Yeah.
Oh man, you just got
You
watched
just watched it before I
we
got
just
here.
watched it. Yeah, that was
Not somebody
2 shots ago.
That's it.
Oh,
Somebody
I
get
got
me
it.
a
I
dime.
still got it.
And then they also break into another cover on that, and I forget who it is. I don't know if it's Cream. I think it's Cream.
Wow.
I'm So Bad. I think it's a Cream tune.
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't he singing "I'm So Bad" during the Girl Gone Bad?
He was.
Yeah.
He does both. Yeah.
More great Eddie guitar work, right? I mean, this song is amazing. I love the riff into the solo rips. Love Alex's bell cymbal double bass solo. It's just everything's just going on in this song. Great track. Alex rips the outro.
Oh,
Everything going on at the
Album
end.
at the time.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
and what a weirdly structured song.
No.
But amazing.
Yeah.
Again, timing changes going on in the solo. Ed's leads with a little blues lick that's fantastic. Al's double bass. Dave's echo on the vocal in that breakdown solo. Coming out of the breakdown, there's a little call and answer with Ed and Al.
Yeah.
And then amazing ending. Al again ending with double what I wrote with drums. Right before he also thinks I also think he's hitting the floor toms in a low power.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, just great. I said this is probably my
Is that the
favorite
one
song.
that could
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a fucking awesome.
I mean, it's this. You could probably say the song is right up there with "Burning for Love" from Bon Jovi. I'm just kidding. All right, well, we got the last song, "House of Pain."
So this was one of the Gene Simmons demo, right?
And it's funny you say that because I knew that too, and then I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to go back and listen to the demo." Because this song is different than the demo, I think.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, well, obviously
Yeah.
they restructured the song.
Yeah, lower. Yeah, this is a interesting, lower, darker sound.
Yeah.
Compared to what what the album is, and yeah, I mean it's a heavy tune. I like it. I don't think it was popular back then.
No.
Because it was definitely a change in direction here.
Yeah. This is my favorite song
Really?
off the album.
Wow.
I love this song.
We got to listen and compare it to the demo after this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's changed quite a bit.
I love this song. Alex's drums in the verse are so creative. It took me years to figure out what he was playing.
So he's doing double bass, and then he's roaming his left hand on the toms while riding the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like dancing around.
It's like, what is going on here? It took me forever to figure this out. you're just hitting the toms and the snare. Just being like Eddie on drums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Wow.
creating. Just pushing the envelope, which I love. Great riff throughout. Eddie shreds that solo.
Yep.
Is just shredding. And Eddie's groove after the solo when they go out of that song. And Dave was great in there. That's where they go. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
Oh, that's the song.
Yeah.
And Dave is
Oh,
God.
So your favorite
it's
song?
my favorite song on the album. By far.
Yeah. I think it's different, not just vocally from the demo, but I think musically. I think Al's drums are different. I don't remember on the demo
I
double
don't think he was
bass
doing all that
and him
stuff.
doing the roaming on the toms and in the heavy ride. I don't know if you're aware of this, Dennis, but Al always played a heavy open ride to fill out the song, especially during
It
solos.
was like a crash.
It was like a crash.
So it would just like wash out.
But he did it
to fill space.
fill space, and because Ed on a few of the earlier albums, he didn't have any rhythm under his solos, and that just filled everything
Filled
out.
it in, and it worked.
And he does it on this song a lot. The outro I don't think is on Gene's demo either.
The outro is great.
Oh, I wrote funny on this song and the Drop Dead Legs, and Girl Gone Bad. They do a lot of jamming on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jamming.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So can I ask a question before
Absolutely
because it's
not.
such a important album for all three of us because
Yeah.
we're huge fans and everybody knows that. Can I ask what your top two songs on this album are? House of Pain is one.
House of Pain and Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah. What would you say, Derek?
Oh, mine's Girl Gone Bad, and then probably Drop Dead.
I'm with Derek.
Drop Dead.
Yeah. I just love Drop Dead.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
But
Yeah, so we're similar, all of us. Yeah. Wow. That
Great
was
album.
fun.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
would it be safe to say, Dennis, because you and I bought this album 40 years ago, I appreciate this album more now.
Yeah.
I listen to this now
Yep.
and have a better appreciation. And maybe you too, Derek, than 40 years ago. You know what I mean? I don't know if I appreciated how great this album really
I didn't like it 40 years ago.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
but
but
now,
it was hard
I think
bec-
it's one of the greatest.
I didn't like
Well-
it 8 months ago when we.
Yeah. Well, the thing is Derek, I think the problem that I had with this is we lost our band somewhat. Back in those days, when
Yeah.
you had a band, that wasn't commercially, there wasn't videos and stuff. It was your band,
And
then
they
all of a
turned the
sudden,
corner a little
MTV came in and they took your band and they gave it to everybody, and it was not like that. It wasn't like
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Like that. That
Guns N'
like,
Roses
that's not my
were like
band
that.
anymore. It's everybody's band. It's on freaking TV and people and they're playing it at school dances and shit. And my girlfriend's listening to it, and it's like that's what hurt more. Like Priest and stuff. Back in those days was like they weren't really into MTV and shit. So you could your mindset back then was like that's my band, and that's why we gravitated to Fastway and Badlands and because they were that underground no one else has got. Sinister Kane. Nobody else has got that.
Right.
That
No.
no one else has that.
But
That's
I
ours.
felt that with Guns N' Roses. I first
Right.
heard of them they were in the studio on BCN, and the DJ was interviewing, I don't know if it was the whole band or Axl and a couple guys, and they were playing every song. And I sat there in 1987, recorded that whole album before it came out because I recorded the radio station. And I'm like, wow, this is my new band. I loved all the songs.
That's right.
And I went out with Mike Cody and Hellings one night.
Yep.
And I go, check out this fucking band I got on this tape called Guns N' Roses. Who's that? I go, I don't know. They were on the radio, and I liked the songs. Check them out. And it was like my band. You know, like, wow, I got this band nobody knows about. And of course, fucking boom, explodes into what they were, and I lost interest. I lost interest in the band. I'm like, now it's everybody's band. It was my band for a millisecond.
Yeah.
And then now it's everyone's band.
Talking about it. And
It's like, who cares? You know,
And that's the way you felt about Van Halen?
That when that first release came out, when
See,
that
I
came
didn't-
out, because I just didn't think they were popular, the mainstream, like, you know, Diver Down was popular and stuff like that. I think MTV had to blame for a lot of this shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, and you gotta remember, you know, I got into Van Halen right from the beginning in '78. And, you know,
I was 8.
78, 79, 80. But they were never on MTV.
No.
They weren't household. They were popular and they were great. So they always felt like your band because it just didn't feel like they were mainstream. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until 84 that it's just like,
Became everyone's.
yeah, you know?
I hear you. Yeah, MTV fucking had a big part of that.
Yeah, because wasn't that they had Pretty Woman,
Yeah, that was the start.
but that was not popular.
No. The video was banned on. They
Yeah.
couldn't even play it on
And
MTV.
before that, I don't think there was no MTV.
No.
I remember a guy I went to high school with, and he was into like punk rock, because punk rock was the scene in the early '80s and stuff. And I remember him talking about a band called G.G. Allen and the Scumfucks, and he was actually at a band.
They're from Manchester. They're local.
Really?
Sluts. Yeah. And
They're from
legendary.
Manchester.
Oh, you never heard of G.G.
No.
Allen?
Oh, my God.
Oh, legendary. And yeah, I'm like, G.G. Allen. And the kid looked at me and he's like, but he's my band. You know, and it was just like that ownership, you know, and that was the punk attitude back then.
Yeah.
G.G. Allen.
Well, that
yeah,
was
he
my
a
brother with Fastway.
badass.
You know, Fastway was my brother's band.
Yeah.
Riot. You know, Riot was my brother's band. It's like, it doesn't branch out beyond my brother and all of us in our little group. You know, you thought like, we're the only people that know this band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Junkyard, Little Caesar, all those kind of underground bands.
Yep.
So, yeah. When a band goes beyond that, I lose interest.
There is nobody, whoever's listening to this, that has heard the word.
Still listening?
G.G. Allen.
G.G. Allen,
You got to check that
Cedar
out.
Street
Do some
Sluts.
research there. Yeah. G.G. Allen, buried in Lebanon, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, is more popular probably in Europe.
Yeah.
And,
But he's
like if you
known-
ask Billy Idol right now, Generation
He
X
would know.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And you go G.G. Allen, I go, oh God, yeah. That was like,
Huh.
oh yeah, he was that big in the punk scene.
Wow.
You know,
And he's from Manchester.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he was
He's
from
from
he was
New
born
Hampshire.
in Lebanon, but he hung out in
Manchester.
Manchester. Yeah. And he did New York and all that shit. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was running around the streets of Manhattan naked, remember?
Heroin, drugs, and stuff like
I
that.
don't mind.
But that whole thing back to this was like, you know, the punk scene was like, this is our band.
Yeah.
They're us, we're them, and you know what I mean. And I think to a certain degree we had that with Van Halen in the old days.
Yeah, well, I think 84 was
We released
the end
that,
of that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, let's wrap it up. Please share, like, reviews. It helps. Tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends.
Seinfeld. All right. Anything else, Dennis?
No, great job, Derek. keeping us under control
Yep.
here.
Wow.
You know, Mark with the host, right?
Yep.
Hosting us tonight.
Yep.
We're in Hooksett.
Yep. Down the basement, the bowels.
Yep.
Nice.
This was a lot of fun.
Pretty good. I love it. All right. Well, I don't know what the tunes are for February, but we'll get those out there.
Yeah.
And tunes, I should say, albums. And thanks for listening.
See you. Ooh, this might have